check that one out.
6-1 bullet, 2-1 Charlie, take your shots.
Also still stands for 5. No. Offender in custody.
Good evening, everybody. Hope you're having a peaceful and positive Saturday evening. If you missed out the show earlier, we had Typically Unique on, getting to know Typically Unique. Talked mental health and awareness, advocacy. So please, if you didn't get to check out that show that we had earlier, episode 2, we have 2 episodes. Definitely check out episode 1. You'll get the first part. It's a very interesting story. Thank you to them for their comfort and their strength, and even coming on the show and talking about all the personal struggles. It's definitely difficult. Things need to change. Things need to change. And um, Sherlock Kendra had a great comment in the show and said if the politicians really do want to, they really do care, have them stress this information. It is a very interesting story. I'm going to say what's up to everybody, and then we're going to go ahead and introduce the guests of the show. Please hit the like if you haven't yet. It's the free way to help. What's up, Angela? Good evening. Kib Kitty, thank you for hopping in. It was a great show earlier. Thank you again for your comfort, sharing your stories. Katrina, ticket number 4, happy Saturday. Nina, number 6, thank you. Dre, number 7, hope you and the husband are okay recovering from COVID. If you still have it, I just hope you're feeling better. There's so many people out there that are sick right now. Prayers to all you as well. Caddy, you too. Hope you're feeling better. Ticket number 5, thank you. Appreciate that. Oh, the sickness is just crazy right now. Just Deb, thank you for hopping in. Appreciate that. Kib Kitty, ticket number 11. Katrina Miller, thank you for hopping in. Brooke Nicole, thank you. Appreciate you and your support. Jinx, what's up, Jinx? Appreciate you. Dark Fairy 79, ticket number 12. Thank you. Appreciate that. Miranda Lee, thank you for hopping in. That's a cool icon photo. There's Coach Kev. Definitely go sub. I'll be throwing the link out there as the show goes on. He's got a lot of great videos over there, a lot of great content, especially about this subject. What's up, Wrong Way 19? How are you doing? D. Smith, good evening. Architect with the cool background music. Definitely go follow and sub Twitter, YouTube. What's up, D. Marie? Thank you for hopping in. Debre, appreciate you. Hope you're doing better. Charismatically for the intros. Talented individuals. I appreciate them so much. There's Coach Kev right there. And like I said, I'll be dropping that link throughout the show too. If you're not sub, definitely go sub. Check out the videos. A lot of great work. Thank you so much, Dark Fairy. Appreciate the kind words there. It was a great comment. They really do. The politicians need to wake up. Why would Yola get mad at you, Ro? What's up, Leslie? How are you doing? See what I'm saying? Your ticket is your like number. So if you hit like, just let me know what your ticket number is, and we shout out your ticket number. Appreciate you. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and introduce Coach Kev here in a second. Give me 1 second. We'll go ahead and get it switched around. Good evening, sir. How are you?
What's happening?
Oh, just chilling. It's freaking raining, cold, all sorts of stuff. But, just working. How about you, man? Same thing, I imagine.
Yeah, we actually here, I'm in Pittsburgh, right outside of Pittsburgh, and we've had
really?
Last 2 days it was 60 degrees. But the rain's coming. I'm picking up my family at the airport. Their flight got delayed, so around midnight now, I have to get them. And it's supposed to be
there's some nasty weather. Yeah, there's some nasty weather out there right now, tornadoes and stuff.
Yeah, we're going to catch, I guess, the tip of that storm that you see from the south. Nothing like they got in the severe, in the south and stuff. We can't complain. We had 2 60-degree days in December in Pennsylvania. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I know, especially in December. You got to love it. Let's just hope it keeps going that way because, there's one thing I can't stand is cold and snow anymore. It drives me nuts. I've just dealt with it too damn long, and I'm tired of it. So, you've been doing a lot of shows too lately as well. So has there been a lot of updates with we know with Delphi, there's been a lot of stuff, but what about Flora? I just came across a video that said that they were preparing to tear down the property, but it's already been torn down now, right?
Yeah, and I'm not sure if Kathy's going to come up or not. I saw her in the chat. She was actually there. The property's torn down. There's been a settlement in a civil lawsuit, and they can't really talk a whole lot about that. But Kathy could probably, paint the corners a little better than I can on that. But
Okay.
Galen received some amount of money, but at the end of the day, it's never going to bring the girls back. And the criminal investigation continues. They tell us it continues. And remember, there's no gag order on the Flora criminal investigations. It's not like Delphi. You could reach out to people and ask them questions, and they can't tell you it's a gag order. They might say it's an ongoing investigation, but there's no gag order in Florida. A lot of people think that there is, and there isn't.
Just because there's not that much information out there about the events of what took place other than the dash cam.
Well, if you look at Flora and you look at Delphi, you have the entire crime on film. The whole, 20 minutes or whatever it is, you have it. You have a standard camera and it doesn't move, but you have the whole crime on film and it's been released. I think that there's no gag because there isn't the fire.
You mean there's actual video of somebody going in the property?
No, I don't mean that. I mean the fire itself burning.
Just
know what I mean? The mechanism that ended up killing the girls, it's on there. There's not a video. No, as far as I know, there isn't. I'd be really pissed if there turned out to be one because we unturned every stone we could. And remember, it's 2017 and it's only 6 years ago, but there's a lot less cameras 6 years ago than there is now.
Right.
But I don't think there's the public outcry for information, for details. And that's why they don't have to gag it. There's a group of people here on YouTube and in the community. Kathy obviously helped spearhead that. Meow, obviously Galen, the mother of the girls, we'll talk about her. And a group of people on YouTube. I know Kathy wants to talk about the Randy walk. Randy Gravett has done great things for them, but it isn't like Delphi. You don't have the information surge. What I hoped was going to happen when an arrest was made and everyone was like, okay, we're going in the right direction in Delphi, everyone would jump to Flora, but the opposites happen because people believe whatever on different sides of whatever they are. But if you don't know about this case, listen to us tonight and do your own research. 4 little girls, and it was considered murder by the state of Indiana. And it's just a lot of people don't know about it. And it's I think you're showing the map 15 minutes.
That's how close it is. You got Delphi at the top up there and then Flora over to the right.
You've made that drive, right? Personally?
I was let me think here. I went through on location in Delphi. I didn't make it to Flora because it took a little longer than I was expecting in Delphi. So I was going to end up coming back up there, but then I had a South Carolina trip and then Idaho after that. And I was going to try and get back up there, but I'm probably going to come back up there in the spring, after the winter time.
Yeah, I definitely am too, 100%. I couldn't make the walk that they had in November. I couldn't manipulate my work schedule. But I 100% want to go, even though the house isn't there anymore, just to get like a lay of the land and obviously to see Delphi too. But you want to spend some time before and, maybe chat some firemen up. Hey, let's go in there and talk. Yay, you have 1,500 gallon a minute pump on this truck. We could talk like shop, and then, somebody got to say something about this case.
It's and there's a lot of people, even though they've torn down the property. There's a lot of people that I've seen have done the drone footage of the property, so I know that I apologize. I don't recall who did it.
In the archive, probably.
Yeah, probably. But I know that there's a lot of drone footage, of the property and stuff. So even if it is torn down, you can still see drone footage of the property if anybody wants to try and search for that. Indie Archive is the channel name. So I know that okay, Galen wasn't charged. She was just under suspicion, correct? And then recently is when they finally came out and said that she was not anymore.
Well, officially, I don't think she was ever ruled early on as a suspect. But the Indiana State Police went to her job in California unannounced and showed up at her job and asked for her. So that means they're treating her like a suspect. You don't do that to a grieving mother. So what led to that early on, no one's really sure, but the entire community thought it. There was a rumor going around that she worked at a gas station not too far from her house. And there was a rumor that she went to the gas station and is seen walking on video with a gas can. The gas station was closed. There was no video in that area. It was absolutely 1,000% proven to be BS. But for 2 or 3 years, people carried that narrative, and they heard it from people that they trusted in the community for whatever reason, and they just assumed that. And you have to talk about the fact that Galen and her daughters were a black family in a Kathy could give you the numerics better than me, probably 95% white area. And there was racism overt and direct to her and to the girls. If you saw the Patrick Westfall interview, he talked about Delphi and Sleuth. His daughters wrote the bus, Galen's kids. So him saying he didn't know about them, that's, but
oh wow, because I thought his name was referenced in those documents that came out with Delphi.
They were referenced. Yeah, they were referenced for the
reference.
Delphi, and then
with the Flora.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. So
yeah, I thought.
You got it. You're saying it. Go ahead. You're right. You're on it.
Yeah. No. When I read the documents, I kept seeing that name pop up and how something was. They talked about. I think it was the wife that was making a statement about how he discussed about the girls, but got something was wrong with
he said it was 3 instead of 4.
Okay.
But it's since has led an investigation by us looking to, however you feel about Delphi is over here. Flora is over here. We're kind of all together on that. And we're trying to see if any of this stuff has a play. And for me, a fireman for 23 years, I've seen most of the fires we have are arsons. We have about 40 house fires a year in about a 25,000 person, 5 square mile radius. So we're extremely busy. About 1,600 calls, hardly any medical. But we don't do the investigation the county does, but we help them. We move stuff around. We know what to look for. We know where stuff starts at. And so not having I have probably 16 hours of arson investigation is like the minimum, and that's all I have. But you could see a fire like that, and to me, it was a cause of some sort, a cause arson. So some person was doing it for, or maybe it was socioeconomic or a race thing, or jilted lover. Those are the 2 things I thought. I didn't think insurance fraud because people were home, and professionals, when they do torch jobs, we call them professionals in our field. They're like a hitman. They're a professional. They have no affiliation to the area, to the house. They don't care. They burn the house down. Don't want to hurt nobody. Don't want to hurt no firemen, because that brings more investigators. So you do this, and there's 4 children and a mother in the house. So to me, the arson thing, or the arson for profit thing, kind of went out the window. But I haven't totally ruled it out yet. But I think there's a cause. Someone had some sick reason to do this in their mind. Yeah,
because I noticed when it was right around, shout out Jinx, it was right around when I kind of ran into Jinx, actually, when we were introduced to this. And I remember when we were watching the dash cam footage, because it was kind of hard to understand what she was trying to explain. And then she's like, you got to watch the dash cam. And so we watched it. And that's when that's one thing I noticed was it was an obvious arson because of how quick it was like really quick. Like really quick. You're sitting there for a while and then you see some flames in the back. I think that's the back. You see some flames starting in the back, and then all of a sudden, as it's in the back for a bit, and then all of a sudden it just woo. So it's almost like maybe the person that set, I don't know, you tell me, because I don't deal with these fires like this, but to me it almost seems like maybe when they lit the fire, it didn't necessarily go as planned because it did take so long. And then once it reached the part where they did it, then it really is that typical where in a fire, if it is set like that, it does take that long in the beginning, and then all of a sudden it's just, or what would make it go so quick after being in the back for a while?
The first thing is professionals, depending on how much exit time they need, they could set a fire to smolder and maybe start in a half an hour. You could be that good at it without a device that explodes. Just a smoldering fire, different things you can use. This, I don't think, was a professional thing. And there was a fire, and we'll get to the X's and O's of what the reports, the two different reports said, the BS report and then the actual good report. Okay. But what you see, and I messaged you in our private chat, you could use anything on my channel for Flora. Anybody can. If it's a channel that I disagree with 100% on another case and they want to use my stuff for Flora, they can use my stuff for Flora, because I think it's more important to get the word out than any other thing, regardless of any other case. To me, Flora, let's get it done. But so if you play the video and if you listen, so for me, there's things that I hear in the video that you're not going to hear. I can hear when the truck gets there. I can hear when the air brakes stop. So I know the truck's in park. I can hear the truck going into pump. I could hear the water, kind of the water hammer coming out is what it's called, because the guy opens up the nozzle kind of fast. You could see the hose building up. So I could explain all that to you. And we won't stop it today on this show, but you could see in the video 3 extrications, actually 4. You could see Drew Yoder coming out first, and you could see the 3 girls, but it's like a frame. So there's no need to stop it, and there's no need for people to, if people want to see that, they can look for that investigative purposely, because you can't really see anything but shadows, but you could see them coming out. So there's no reason to stop and show that to people. If they want to see it, they can. But what happened was the fireman, without having water ready, and with a downed police officer, actually at that point he was out, I think. No, I think Yoder was still in the building. We'll play it. They break that front window out. As soon as they break that front window out, a surge of oxygen goes in that house. Mm-hmm. The worst accelerant is not gasoline. It's not diesel fuel. It's oxygen. It's the atmosphere, because it never goes away. So if you pop a window open, you have to be very specific of what you do. There's a science to it. There's a science. We take, it's called reading smoke. And I could tell you what the smoke's doing. When it turns white, they're hitting it with water. And if you watch, it doesn't take a lot of water. It's 1 tank of water probably knocked that main fire down, and that tank in the truck's probably 500 gallons. So probably 500 gallons of water knocked that down. If they'd have been there and had water on it 7 minutes earlier, probably 100 gallons of water would have knocked that fire down, because I don't think it was professionally done, and it did take time to go. And when you see, you could hear it even. They break that window. And
I kept hearing it over and over. It was like,
I'll show you.
It was like it wasn't stopping. It was crazy.
Yeah, I'll show you where Drew Yoder is on the steps, and I could tell that he's on his back on the steps because of his pass device on his shoulder, and I could see the blinking lights, and I know what that looks like, because that's not on the back, that's on the front. But it's it probably was a while, an older video.
Which
you know what? You might even be able to look up. I don't know I forget who has it, but if you just look up in Flora dash cam on YouTube, I think one of the news stations actually had it.
Because I know I have an old episode where we played it when Jinx was on. I mean, it was way back.
Yeah, whatever you want to use, but even if
I know that we were kind of like we were cutting it up though. We were kind of going back and forth. I was like in shock, because she was like, check out how long it takes from them, to go to here and this, and so we were kind of cutting it up. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Just the dash cam, and if not, then we'll go to my old episode here.
Yeah, give me 1 second here. 1 second. So if you heard scratching, I'm puppy sitting. This is I think he's a 3-month-old Rottweiler named Buster. Kind of have him blocked in the other room, and he wanted to see what was going on. He's good. I have a mutt. He's not. He don't want to play. He's old. He wants to stay upstairs. So
I wish I could have.
Buster's doing here.
I wish I could have one.
Hang out for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm gonna go ahead and go to mine.
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever you know that's easier for you.
Well, I see it says dash cam from Fox 59, but it's like 5 minutes, and I know it's longer than.
Oh yeah, it's like 17 or 19. You want the full thing?
Yeah,
it'll show you. It's Drew Yoder's dash cam, so it shows you when he gets the call in the car and actually responds, and then you see, the car's parked there the whole time, so it doesn't move. So you have a solid shot at the front of the house, and you could see to the back, almost to the back, not quite all the way to the way back, but.
All right, let me see here.
There you go, right there. That's it.
We'll go full screen. I know I kind of blow it up.
Yeah, so this is Drew Yoder's car.
It says, Kathy, you'll have to connect your mic and cam. I'm not sure.
Come on, Kathy. Yeah, Kathy's a lot more info locally than me, and a good friend of Galen, and the advocate for the girls.
There we go. There we go. Hello.
Hi, Kathy.
It's working. I think.
Unless you're muted on your end, Kathy.
Oh, I think it worked. There we go.
Yeah,
there we go. There we go. How are you?
Fine.
Good evening.
I'm good. I've been sitting here listening to you guys anyway, reading papers.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Is there anything that you want to kind of discuss before we start watching this, or anything of anything that we were talking about, or?
Oh no, I was like, I was just sitting there listening. I heard Coach talk about Randy and the walk. That was wonderful this year. No, not really. I was just kind of going. I was listening to Coach talk, so I was pulling out some paperwork. Just where I just wanted to verify. In here where it says that the next door neighbor called the homeowner at 3:28 a.m., which was Mr. Ayers. And then at 3:35:49 is when the fire department was toned out. So that is approximately 6 minutes
3:45
that fire before anyone was ever called.
Wow.
I just
and Kathy
all the time.
If you would explain who got phone calls before 911 got phone calls also.
Well, it was Adam Ayers, which was the homeowner, and the next door neighbors was it was Josh Ayers. I'm sorry. Adam Ayers lived next door, and Elizabeth Ayers lived next door. And as I was reading through the papers while you guys were talking, it says at 2:45, Elizabeth Ayers was awakened. She woke up and she was just laying there in her bed. I believe her and her husband, I guess that's who he is. And then as I look, Galen came out of the house, screaming around 3:25, 3:26, something like that. And then at 3:28 is when Elizabeth Ayers called the homeowner, which is Josh Ayers. He picked up the phone. Now, I'm guessing she spoke to him from 3:28 until she called 911 at 3:35. I'm not really sure.
Wow.
But I do know that after she hung up with him, Josh Ayers then picked up his cell phone, did not call 911, and then he called the other homeowner, Troy Helderman. It's all in the documentation that I have in my hands.
So they own the home together? They own the home together? Okay.
Yes, Josh, Troy Helderman were homeowners, and they had an LLC that owned the home, which Birch Tree Holding was the LLC.
Do they own a lot of properties in that area? Whether it's that block or the town? They do?
Yes.
Okay, so they're like a well-known
Yes.
real estate investor. Okay. What would you say the percentage of homes they own?
They're local.
So like,
well,
how many people live in
sure.
Flora?
So, I mean, I would say I don't live in Flora. I actually live in Delphi. But they live there. I mean, of the rental homes that the heirs own, maybe they own 10. I'm not sure. But they have like an LLC. So they own a heating and cooling. They own the hardware store. They own a hardware store in Delphi. They own a farm. I mean, they just, yeah. Josh Ayers is also the town council. He's been, president of that.
These two people together own all of these properties, like all of these different businesses. Those two guys own together. The population is 2,500. So, and you said like 10 homes,
and yeah, I would say between them, and then, I mean, you have your other slumlords over there, that own some of the other homes that, have also caught fire, different things like that. But pretty much they own a lot of the older homes that they've turned into apartments and that they rent. Yes.
Has there been any other suspicious activity with any of these other?
So they had what was the one business that burned down?
I think there's always suspicious activity.
Yeah, there was this too. And again, I told you guys before, I didn't think that this was necessarily an insurance thing, but there was a witness that came forward a few days after the fire. And she said that her son was told by Josh Ayers that he would stick paper in junction boxes to make fires look electrical. So
what?
Yeah, I could. Well, that's in the police report from the Flora Police Department. A witness. I don't want to say her name, but it's. I mean, it's
right.
I don't even know her last. Oh, she probably has it right there.
It's in these papers right here, Coach. Yeah,
the police go to her.
For some reason, I had the files next to me. I just pulled them out.
Yeah, there you go. She thought it necessary to come in on her own. No one went to her. She was like, "Hey, listen, my son heard this, and I just need to tell you guys this." So
wow. Okay, can you say that they would stick what kind of,
like paper, like newspaper, or what you want to do when you start a fire? Like, I think about a campfire, like dry newspaper is better than like Sports Illustrated or something because it's thicker. Some dry newspaper, and put them in junction boxes and light the junction box on fire. And what would happen is the fire would spread out the two holes, the conduit would catch on fire, the paper on the conduit, and it would run in the wall and it would look like an electrical fire. So there was no accelerant. You didn't pour anything, so the dogs wouldn't hit on anything. And there's just some paper in there. That paper is going to be incinerated to nothing. You're not even going to know it was there. And,
right. Wow.
And again, I don't think that he did this, but I mean, this is what's happening in there. This is what this guy's saying.
Right.
And
it's shocking. Yeah, it's not normal talk.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's not normal discussion.
No, well, there's so many. You could say it's so many different things. Like Coach was saying. I mean, there's so much that points to it could be insurance. There's so much to me from some documents that we've had in the past that I believe a firefighter could be involved. A heroes type thing where there's been so many fires over there, just like you were talking earlier about Patrick Westfall and the Brad Holder, those types of things, the racism. There's not one thing I could rule out. Not one thing that I could rule out. I wish there was. I wish I could just say, oh, it's this. It's this one right here. I don't know.
Yeah. It's so bizarre. That's why we appreciate you doing this, for sure, CJ. But everyone just to dig in, because we could tell you things. Like I tell my guys at work some of this stuff, and they're like, no way. One of the big things for me is this, and it's, you know, so the girls come out, and according to the reports, at least 3 of the 4 girls were worked, which means you begin CPR. And where I'm from here, and I don't know if it's different in Indiana, if you start giving someone CPR, either a nurse at the ER will stop you, a doctor will stop you, and that's pretty much it. And that's for insurance reasons, a lot of other things, but you don't know once you begin that. The girls were somehow pronounced deceased at the scene after 3 of them were worked with CPR at the scene, not transported anywhere, mind you. Their bodies were taken from the scene in bags and put on the floor of the fire station.
Who determined?
I haven't got a reason why that was, but if I were to do that here in my town, I would be arrested. You just ruined the crime.
A coroner is the only one that can come there, right, and determine.
That's what I thought.
We did have a coroner. I believe it was it was Cree's son, the 19-year-old, the same coroner. I believe that was for the Delphi case.
Yeah, I don't know if he did that, or did they ship that to Terre Haute? I thought they shipped that to Terre Haute because of his sparkling performance here.
Whoa.
Well, I know he was the first one on the team for Delphi, though.
Well, I don't know. But if you read any rules of firefighting and how to do with crime scenes, the only time you remove a body of anybody, and I've unfortunately had 11 in house fires. I've watched 11 overall, 6 in house fires, and you leave it there. That's the last thing that leaves the scene. They take pictures of everything they want. And if you do take someone out of the house and they're deceased outside, or you pull them out and you don't realize it, you lay them on the ground right there. You don't move them. You don't touch them. Police guard that. That's evidence. So you put the bodies in body bags. Well, where did body bags come from? Did someone check them? Did someone take DNA? Did someone take hairs? No. Did anyone lock down a house after the investigation to go back for more evidence? No. None of these things happen. None of these things.
So they were put in body bags, though, right? Is that what's being said?
Put on the floor of the fire station.
So what did they have them in, like the trunk of the cop car or something? Like where did they? So that's where they really
transported them, Kathy.
I don't know how they moved them unless they moved them in an ambulance. Okay, so this is what I know. So after Jackie called me, Jackie was on her way there, and she said,
Jackie,
you know,
a lot of people have never.
She was going to call me. Yeah, Jackie. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. Jackie is Galen's aunt, and when the fire happened, Galen's dad, which he lived in Flora, he was gone on vacation, him and his girlfriend, to Tennessee. So then the next relative would have been her Aunt Jackie, which lived here in Delphi, but she lived more out of town, like kind of going towards Monticello. So she's probably maybe 10 minutes out of Delphi. So she was the one that they contacted. But by the time Jackie got up, got in her vehicle and drove, I say 10, 15 minutes, and she got there, Galen was already in the ambulances and the girls were gone. Their bodies were already moved and gone. And they were still fighting the fire. And Jackie said at this time, it's like she remembers the helicopters landing, and it was just so much, you know.
Oh, wow.
The only way that those bodies should be moved if they're being moved to a hospital for treatment. We had a fire, unfortunately, in 2013 where we lost 4 kids, a mom and a grandpa. A guy lit a roll of paper towels, threw it in the house, caught the house on fire, caught the couch on fire. That's all it took. And those bodies stayed there for like 7 hours. Wow. We put the fire out in about 2, but the investigations, the pictures, they took pictures from down the street, up the street, in the house, outside of the house. And it was such a thorough investigation. And they had the guy that did it. He admitted it. They caught him almost basically red-handed, and the neighbors seen him run home. He was all boozed up. And they still took this many pictures and went to this extent. And you compare that to Flora, and I don't have an explanation for how bad. This is the initial investigation. We didn't even get into the fire reports yet and what they said happened, because that's a whole nother circus.
The fire reports.
See, one thing is they've never really told the truth of actually who who was on the scene. I mean, we see the dash cam. Okay, so that we definitely know when Drew Yoder arrived. Okay, but then the thing of it is so when did Adam Randall get there, and why has Adam Randall never ever gave a statement when he was the fire? He was the chief. He was the chief there, you know. And
What?
there was the very next morning. Huh? Oh yeah,
Sorry
the fire chief
about
never
the
gave a
delay.
statement.
He never gave a statement.
No, never. He has never gave a formal statement. There's nothing in the civil case. There's nothing. At some point, the town council in Flora, which Josh Ayers, the homeowner, paid for a lawyer for him.
It was like $30,000.
Whoa.
No, that was the $30,000 was to keep the 911 tape secret.
That's
still
the other,
secret?
yet another thing.
Yeah,
30,000
yeah,
to keep the 911 secret.
Yeah, that went all the way to the Indiana Supreme Court, and there was a ruling against Fox 59, and because of E911, and so the county paid close to $30,000 or $40,000 in attorney fees to keep those from being released.
So
the 911,
the Indiana Supreme Court listened to the 911 call and ruled against Fox 59 and anybody else that was trying to get the Freedom of Information.
Fox 59.
Wow.
Exactly.
Well, it kind of makes me wonder.
And when Galen's attorneys got them, literally, when Galen's attorneys got them, she said, well, one of her first attorneys, before the settlement, but she said she literally had to sign her life away, like to get this copy, of this 911. And it was for what she told me, it wasn't.
It wasn't what? Sorry, it's kind of cutting out. Hello?
Yeah, Jinx is right on it right there with her comment. Adam Randall was the fire chief. His dad, Dennis Randall, was the first guy, the first fire investigator. Dennis Randall said there was multiple points of acceleration, multiple accelerants poured throughout the house. He had this idea. Everybody was like, hold on, slow down. So he did a press release on a Saturday without telling the state police, without telling anyone else about it. Well, a private investigator named Mike Vergon, who's a good investigator, did his own investigation and actually wrote everyone he could, and basically said that Dennis Randall didn't use science to figure out what happened. I don't want this dog to chew this cord. Come over here.
Didn't use science?
Didn't use science. So that's like the ultimate FU from one fire investigator to the other. You didn't use science. And that's how bad it was. Mike found one point of origin in the mudroom in the back of the house, which was like connected to the kitchen. And supposedly neither tenant had access to it. That was for the people that owned the property had that. But supposedly it was very easy to get in and out of if anyone wanted to. Now, Dennis Randall, the investigator.
I guess I froze.
Oh, you're better now.
You're good.
His son's the chief. And then within, I don't know how much of each other, they both end up resigning. There's a great interview with Doug Carter where somebody from the news, Kathy might remember who it was, hands Doug Carter the emails that says, hey, your fire investigator's full, you know what, blah, blah, blah. And Doug Carter's like, I've never seen these before. A week later, Dennis Randall resigned.
A week after the fire or a week after
Doug Carter received these emails in this interview.
The emails.
Yeah.
Really? And when was that?
That was maybe 2 years later, Kathy? Something
2
like
years.
that. I'm not exactly sure. It was sometime after the fire, though.
Doug Carter, I know he came out recently and he had it could be a couple months ago. I remember him coming out and he had a press conference where he was discussing how the whole Indiana State Police itself needed an overhaul or something. Is it something to that effect? Do you know?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was something about
Yeah.
how he said, like, it was the shocking statement about how he the shit was deep inside. Oh my gosh, let me try and find it. It was like a couple months ago, and I was shocked that he was saying this. He said, no, it wasn't a month ago. Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I didn't see that.
I know he always
Yeah, it was
says it's not his finest hour.
Yeah, he said that. He said we know that those weren't our best days or something. Yeah, he admits it, and he doesn't get into detail, but I got to be talking about Dennis Randall, right?
I always get confused on. So the Flora fire happened November 21st. Within 2 weeks, our prosecutor, Rob Ives, took off the Carroll County Sheriff's Department and put, or they didn't take them off. They were still on the case, but made the Indiana State Police the lead. Why? So everybody always said, well, because of the Delphi case. Well, the Delphi case didn't happen until February. And 2 weeks after the fire happened, our prosecutor, Rob Ives, had the Indiana State Police take the lead on the case. Why?
Is it the same county?
Yeah,
well,
Carroll
the
County.
Indiana,
It's
Carroll
same
County.
Okay.
Yeah, we're in the same county. Mm-hmm. The Flora fire happened on November 21st, and then the here in Delphi on February 13th. 14th, the 13th. Yeah. So
2.5 months apart, and their towns are 12 minutes away from each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what I was talking. Doug Carter, you said like the whole system was broken or something like this.
5 o'clock today,
I'd like to see
State Police Superintendent Doug Carter has been speaking out on what he calls problems in our criminal justice system.
This comes on the heels of a police chase involving state troopers that was called off before a deadly crash. Rich Nye joins us live with comments from Carter.
Maybe this isn't. I'm thinking this might be it, but I know there was somebody that typed in a comment something about the system was broken. He was talking about
Scott Felicia, Superintendent Carter is calling for a complete review of the Marion County judicial system that he says has led to the lowest place he's ever seen for people who are in the law enforcement profession in terms of their morale and what they face every day. Now, this all came to a head.
Isn't that something that he claims about? I don't know. I just I always remember press conferences from him where he's kind of saying the same thing about whatever he's talking about. No, whether it's Delphi or
the same
Flora,
thing over and over.
Yeah, there's, like you said, he
Yes.
said it's not our
Yes.
finest hour and things like that. It's just going to be more of the same mumbo jumbo kind of thing.
Yeah.
How long is
he don't just come out and say it either. There's always like some kind of you got to figure this out, then you can understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, he is pretty tricky and crafty with his words too.
Well, I think what kind of happened in the beginning and between the Indiana State Police and the Carroll County Sheriff's Department, and something had to have happened the night of the fire. I don't know what it was, or was it Adam Randall that set the fire and then everyone else was trying to cover it up. His dad was on the, IFD, whatever. And then you have Josh Ayers, which is, the town council. And, Adam Randall and his family live there.
Mhm.
And of course they all know each other.
Right.
As they call
House
them,
of
the Good Old
Cards.
Boys Club. Yeah, whatever, however it works. This is just like my theory of the whole thing. Something happened that they don't want no one to know. Do they believe that it's something that the mother could sue over? Do they believe that they're liable for something? Are they covering for another firefighter? I mean, there's something to this, you know. When I heard the Pat Westerman story, I was like, oh, look, a connection.
Right.
I'm not 100% sure that I believe that there's that connection there, as much as I believe it's more of so many fires that's over there, hero worship. After the fires, this community put together it's like a heroes worship meal, and they cooked it.
Really?
It's funny. Beans and fried potatoes and stuff, and they had it at the Canal Center, and they had gentlemen that came in, and they were doing it like an honor, and they brought in flags and everything, and everyone was invited, everyone from the Delphi, Flora, Camden, any fire department that was involved in, you know, what happened over there. And a lot of it kind of happened just right as Drew Yoder and Josh Dysinger got out of the hospital, and they were recognized at a Pacer game. So they had this at the Canal Center. It was the strangest thing I saw. Drew Yoder was just, the family came. Galen was not there, but Aunt Jackie was there and some of the other family. Drew Yoder was just the nicest guy. He was just hugging the family and saying he was sorry. And Josh Dysinger's demeanor as I watched him was odd. He steered away from the family. When they were doing like the worship, they were the only two that showed up. No one from the Flora Fire Department, no one from the Camden, no one. Just Drew Yoder and Josh Dysinger. That was it.
That's odd. When it was for all of those departments.
It was for everyone. It was a heroes worship. And the only two heroes that came was Adam, or not Adam Randall, but Drew Yoder and Josh Dysinger. No one else came. No one.
I know it reminded me of the movie.
Community and the gentleman that was honoring them.
Yeah, that's crazy. I know it reminded me that. Go ahead. Sorry, I think there's a couple second delay on your side or something.
Because I reminded people of the day after the fire, the Flora Police Department on their page, on their Facebook page, they put this out. They put out at 3:30 a.m. a fire was reported at 103 East Columbia Street. Deputy Drew Yoder, Officer Josh Dysinger, and Flora Fire Chief Adam Randall were the first to arrive on the scene. They put that. They wrote that the very next day. Those were the three to arrive there first. Where Adam got there first? How did Adam get there? I mean, I know Adam didn't live that far away, but you still would, you know, once the tone at 335, Dyson was just down the street, not more than a half a mile at the tire shop. Adam Randall would have still been in his home, in his bed. Coach, help me.
That's why it reminded me of the movie Backdraft. When I first came across this, it reminded me of the movie Backdraft, you know, where it was the same kind of thing where people were setting fires and being recognized as heroes and, you know, that kind of shit. Unfortunately, it happens. They get an idea about a movie from somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, and the family has some history there with, they have a nephew or a cousin or something that also, set the grandparents' home on fire, you know?
Try to kill his grandparents.
Yeah.
The what? The nephew?
Michael Randall or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I believe it's Adam Randall's cousin, and that's Dennis Randall's nephew, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then his wife was extorting money. Dennis Randall's wife, and they have a local name. I'll say because I'm not from there. They call them the Scandals.
They do. They do. I'm here and I don't care anymore. I'm here and I don't care anymore.
The Scandals.
The very next morning of the fire, if you go look at records at the courthouse, Adam Randall's wife filed for divorce that morning.
What? The next morning?
Yeah. Yep.
Nobody?
Adam Randall also. He also had a hostage situation.
Mm-hmm.
The Kathy can use
was
the
up
light
last
on
year.
that.
I think it was
Held
last
up and
year or
down.
summer. Yeah.
Yeah.
There is so much. I mean, for the Indiana State Police continually to say that we need to speak to the mother, we need to speak to the mother, we need to speak to the mother. I don't believe that's the aspect. I've heard where the state police was spoke to, and I've heard what they said. They said we need to speak to Gaylin about her drug and boyfriends, or her sexual activity or whatever. And it's Gaylin hadn't even hardly lived there a year, maybe just a little over a whole year in that community.
Oh,
She was from California. The home that
so
burnt,
they
she
didn't
was
even
there
live there for a year. Oh, wow.
Yeah, she was in that home 6 months. And so when people say, well, the homeowner didn't want her there, he just moved her in.
Yeah. And the other thing too is there's no working smoke detectors in the house, and it's up in Indiana state law is that the homeowner, not the resident or the renter, is responsible for that. And then they were maybe the battery melted. The batteries don't melt. The smoke detector's still there. That's made of plastic. The plastic's going to melt away before a metal battery does. So there's no smoke detector. There's no working smoke detectors. But there was in the neighbor's apartment, right? And that's probably why they got
upstairs.
out.
Yes, because her smoke detector was going off.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Because
the neighbors was.
Yes.
Was that upstairs or is it side by side?
Upstairs.
Like a side by side? So there's
actually
upstairs and a down.
The neighbors was next door to the girls' bedroom.
Yeah. So if you went up the steps, the upstairs split. Galen's bedroom was downstairs. The girls' bedroom was upstairs. And it was a hallway, which for firefighting purposes is a nightmare because you have false walls. Fire moves in places you don't think there's a wall. There's another gap. There's a plenum space there. We have a lot in our community too. And it's really bad. It makes things worse. But in this situation, I don't think it inhibited them from getting the girls at all because the girls are on side one or at the front of the house. So, it could have made smoke travel weird or funny for sure.
Why wouldn't they try and one thing that I noticed when I watched it, and we can still watch the dash cam if you want. One thing that I noticed was they didn't try and go through. Is it not? I saw the porch roof, and to me, I don't know why they wouldn't go through the window.
Yeah, I don't have an explanation for that because we as firemen love porch roofs. And here's the reason why. We could take equipment up there. We could set it on a roof and stage it, go in the window, come back out and get it. We could move people in and out. We could go out there and take a rest. We could go take our mask off for 2 minutes and catch our breath and go back in without having to traverse the ladder. I don't have an answer for why they didn't do that. I just don't know why. It'd be Monday morning quarterbacking to try to guess. I don't know what classes they take. They had an engine, but there's ladders on that engine. So we say a ladder truck, maybe they don't have an aerial with a stick, or as we say, but there's an engine with ground ladders, and you have a 16-foot ground ladder. You can easily get up there, equipment. Yeah. By and large, we have a porch roof to work off. We almost always take advantage of it because it's a good thing for us. And real quick, if you have a porch roof, if there's ever fire and you can't get out your bedroom and you have a porch roof, get out your window, close your door, and get on that porch roof and make noise because the firemen are going to see you. The neighbors are going to see you. Porch roofs are a blessing in the fire service. They really are.
Interesting.
We just built one on my front porch after the neighbor's fire last year. You better bet right out this window here. Yeah, right here, out the window. A nice brand new porch roof. Yeah, we have an upstairs. I have 4 granddaughters, so nice one.
Let them know that you go there and you make as much. We tell kids at school, make as much noise as you can. And if you don't have a porch roof, you close your door and open a window. Start throwing stuff out the window. Whatever you got to get someone's attention, and then we can put our ground ladder up to get to you. But to answer your question, I don't know. I don't know why they didn't use it.
Well, for one, Coach, if you think about that, so when you watch the video, if we're going to watch the dash cam, so what happened when Drew Yoder got up the stairs? So he's up the stairs, He rounds the landing. He's on the landing. He goes around the landing where the door is. Because so you're on a landing, then there's a couple more steps to where the door is. And when he touches the door, then that's what throws him backwards. So at some point, somebody broke the window out. Is that what you think?
Well, we watched the dash cam. Yes, we'll be able to time that up. But I remember Yoder's statements or reading somewhere where they said they thought something blew up, something that was sitting on the steps. And I theorized this. People set things at the top of their landings. Could it have been like and they kept saying acetate. Could it have been like a nail polish remover or nail polish that someone just had sitting there and it got so hot?
It was, I have pictures of the room.
Been glass, though. It would have had to be plastic. It wouldn't have been glass. I don't think glass would have popped like that.
Okay, so I have to tell you, like, there was nothing up there but those bunk beds, and there was a small closet and the little girls' shoes. I mean, there was, like, even on the landing, there was nothing, just the stairwell. That's it. That's like
they never said anything like they never set anything up like going up the steps, just like set it there, because that's the only thing I could think of.
Because it was so small up there, like the bedroom and stuff, and then the downstairs was so big. You know, the downstairs had Galen's big bedroom, that had a big living room, had a big dining room, had the kitchen, and then she had that back porch, and that's where Galen would like keep all the girls, you know, to keep the house looking good. You know, us women, we put everything, you know, in the corner back there, you know. So that was all clear. I mean, I can show you pictures of where
Deb, absolutely they're supposed to do that.
Yeah. There was nothing.
Yeah, if you have it, you can send them to evilcj@gmail if you want to send them, or if you're on Discord, you can send them on Discord too.
Yeah. Okay.
Deborah has a question, Coach. If someone is deceased in a fire, aren't the FF/EMS supposed to leave them until where they were, etc., is photographed and documented in the case the fire was started to cover up COD?
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't matter if it's a deceased. If let's say someone calls 911 and says, I'm going to light my house on fire. I want to unalive myself. And we go there and their house is on fire and they're the only person in there. Even in that situation, we touch nothing. We identify the body. Yes, the person's clearly deceased. And here's what clearly deceased means. They're mummified, they're charred, or they're beheaded. Past that, you need to basically have, like, a paramedic can call it, but they have to put the heart monitor on you for, like, I think 27 minutes or something, and have no sign, no heart rhythm or anything like that. But absolutely, everything stays there to be photographed. So the investigation, whoever told them to move them, erred in judgment to the point where they should be charged criminally for hindering this investigation. That is how outrageous moving those bodies are. It's outrageous.
Right. And then where they put them and laid them, you know, that's disgusting. And,
it's disrespectful. And I know that one of the guys said, well, we said a prayer over him, or, you know what? Someday someone's going to say a prayer over you too, mister. But not even the human aspect of it, the investigative aspect. What incident commander said to move these bodies? Boom, they get charged. It's gross negligence by the guys to follow that order. You have a direct obligation in your community to disobey an order like that, because you know it's wrong, you know it's illegal, and you know it's going to hurt the investigation. Whoever moved them, you charge them. They should be charged. But everyone's like, oh, no. I can't find another fire, and neither can the other 32 guys I work with, where they move bodies like this anywhere in the world. None of us can find it. And I've challenged people on YouTube, if you have seen one, tell me. You move it if the building's collapsing or something like that, or if you're preserving evidence. You never do this. So I can't explain it. It's outrageous. It's outrageous.
Another question: how can we find out what accelerants were used? Are the same found in the arson fires in. So are they the same accelerants that were used in the other fires that took place in the area?
Well, there's been so many that I'm sure that there's a track record of certain things that are used by certain people. If we're talking Stephanie Thompson, the state trooper who did polygraph examinations in Delphi and Flora, her house burnt to the ground with her daughter in it. Her husband's a judge who was away for the weekend. That was a nice house, a very well put together house in a paid fire district with a good fire department. And it burnt so quickly and so fast, they could not determine the cause of the fire. And that rarely happens. When you have a really nice put together house like that and you have a good response time, for the fire to burn so fast before a career department gets there and does that to a house, it almost looked like an explosion.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, what they said it was bad.
It was very bad. Her husband is a White County judge, and him and his other daughter were in Michigan, I believe, skiing at the time of the fire.
Yeah, but Carroll County, but the accelerants and stuff like that, I mean, there's going to be things that match up, but don't quote me on the percentage, but I'm in a neighborhood. Carroll County deaths, minor deaths in fires, are several 100% higher than the national average. Several 100% higher than the national average. That's 0 to 18 children dying, or 0 to 17 children dying in fires. No one could explain why. Nobody knows why.
Holy shit. It's okay, so do you either of you know much about the insurance part of like the house fire stuff? Residents living there, you get more? Or
so you guys talked about in the very beginning the court case, the civil case with Galen. Of course that went on for like 6 years, and so right now, even though it settled, everything is still kind of like up in the air. There's nothing really, going on right now. Everything is just pretty quiet. She hasn't really went back, and everything's just, So, insurance wise, I couldn't tell you. Meow's the only one that can remember all those numbers. I sit in the court and I just don't understand, what policy, what meant. I know there was a $500,000 policy, and then I thought, and I may be wrong, I don't know. I want to say a $1 million umbrella policy that would not pay out because of what type of policy it was, something like that.
Really? How much was the house worth? It was more than $500,000?
No, I don't think
so. Keep telling him, Kathy. Keep telling him who looked at it and who did it.
500,000. So it had an insurance policy for 500.
So
and a million.
It's so odd. Okay, so what happened is the Ayers family, both homes, the home next door where Elizabeth Ayers, the lady that called in, and then the home that burnt, those were family homes. That's where those people were born and raised. And here, let me even tell you another funny story. Julie Melvin grew up in next door to all these guys. They're somewhere next door.
Didn't she babysit one of the Ayerses or something?
Yeah, she was the babysitter. Julie Melvin was, I think, of Josh Ayers. I'm not really sure. But those were the family homes. So I don't know, but the father that owned the home gifted the home to Josh Ayers and Troy Helderman. And then I think he was on it too, part of it. It was paid for, and it went into Birch Tree Holding. Then Birch Tree Holding wanted to borrow money, I believe, to fix the home up. So then that's where the bank that they were borrowing money from came in, and they got Becky Patty as the appraiser, because that's what she does in the area. I mean, that would just be normal. And she appraised the home. She went there one day and knocked on the door. Galen answered the door, and Becky says, "I'm here for an appraisal." And Galen's like, oh, okay. And she went in, and Becky appraised it. And yeah. And then after that, then at some point the house burnt.
Kathy, tell the story real quick of how Galen realized who Becky Patty was when you were together that time.
Oh, okay.
This is a cool story.
So after after both incidents, one of the art teachers in Flora, really, really nice guy, I guess he had some experience doing stonework, different types of, engraving, things like that. And someone had gifted him these big pieces of stone. So they decided that the class that they were going to carve these and then, for the girls. And then we're going to have this big ceremony and everything where Fox 59 and all the news and everybody was there. And Galen came and she goes, I know that lady. And I go, you do? I said, what lady? She goes, that one. And I said, well, it's Becky Patty. That's Libby's grandma. And she goes, no, that's the lady who did the appraisal on my house or on the house that I was living in. It was
Really?
it was just weird. It's just like when she told it to me. So you know her. Yeah.
So all of
I think
it,
it's just more small town things than it is.
Yeah, all interconnected, and they all know each other a lot. So you said that she didn't live there very long. Was there any kind of trouble before this fire took place?
No.
There was no.
Okay, so no, Galen wasn't even from this area. It was just her dad, Tracy, had been living here, I want to say 2 years. He had come from California, and his aunt, which is Jackie is actually Tracy, Galen's dad's aunt. She is Jackie, my friend, is Galen's great aunt. So Tracy was already living here, Galen's dad. Galen was in California. Galen needed help and needed someplace. So Jackie had lived here, her and Taylor, her sons, and I want to say, Jesus, 10 years maybe or better. I mean, Jackie helped a lot of people in the community, different things. She had a halfway house over in Flora helping people. So anyway, and the halfway house and all that was prior to Galen coming. So what happened is they got the money and they flew Galen and the girls here. And Galen stayed with her dad in a 1-bedroom house in Flora. And Galen, the girls got enrolled in school there. It was probably, I can't exactly remember if it was August or September, but I know it was cold. And because they come from California, so Jackie had to help get them coats and things like that. And I have to tell you, I go on Galen's Facebook a lot, and I go back through her memories, and there was the memories of them flying. It was the first time that they'd ever flown, and there's pictures of them, 2 on Galen's side, 2 on the other. Just the smile. I mean, I flew to California from here. I can imagine how they felt on a 4-hour flight.
Yeah, it seems so much bigger. Yeah, when you're a little kid, it's like so much bigger.
Flew into Chicago too, O'Hare. So now you're flying from LAX into O'Hare. So it was an exciting time for them, and it was a new beginning. Let's just say that it was a new beginning. Galen moved in with her dad. Galen got a job immediately. Galen's always worked. The girls were enrolled in school. They got some, help in the community with coats, different things. Galen lived with her dad until I want to say May of 2016, when she was working she was living in Flora, but she had a job in West Lafayette at a hotel. And she didn't have a driver's license, so that was hard getting back and forth. So now she left that job, and she's working in Flora, which is a gas station when you come into town. So she walked back and forth. She lived at her dad's. She got enough money to find this place, the community help. She put the money down, moved in. It was May, I believe, or June. Might have been June. I'm not really sure. She didn't have a lot. I remember bringing over a coffee table. She lived there, her and the girls, from June until November 21st. When the fire happened, took their lives. So, I mean, when I hear them say her drug connections and her boyfriends, and She had 4 little girls that she took care of. Okay. I looked at her Facebook. I didn't see anything in those years that showed me that Galen spent her time doing drugs and boyfriends. Galen's life was spent for those 4 little girls. It was basketball and piggy
Busy.
tails and you know how long it takes to do a beautiful little black girl's hair? You should see theirs. They were always with the braids and the beat. Galen loved her girls. She was with them all the time. So it's hard for me to think that has anything to do with this.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't enough,
especially for 4 little girls that are in activities. Like, it's crazy how busy it is. Just with the activities alone.
Well, Galen worked very early in the morning. She would have to be at the gas station around 5. So, she would get up, 3:30, 4 o'clock, get up. And, Kiana would help her with the other girl.
Uh-oh.
Freezing up.
Yeah, I think
I'm
it's
sure she'll
freezing.
pop back in. But you just have to think, and this is what I always think, who created that narrative, that initial narrative that, oh, it was her drug friends or this or that, or she's involved. And why push that narrative? And then the other thing is, why would Dennis Randall risk his entire career to make such a bad diagnosis on this fire that he had to know at some point someone was going to look at this and say, guy, you're a goof. You know what I mean? Like, you got this so wrong. This guy wrote so many letters to so many people in the state. Once Doug Carter got all these emails, a week later, Dennis Randall resigns. You don't do that. I mean, I don't think the guy was a total nincompoop. I think he was, whatever he was doing. You have to be, if you're covering for someone, you're risking your career. It's got to be somebody close to you. It's got to be somebody that has a connection, I would think. But,
sorry, guys. No,
Oh,
guys. I live in Delphi and we have the worst internet. We're starting to get some more communication stuff in here, but I'm telling you, that's why somebody must be downstairs on their cell phone. That's probably the reason.
It's about the same quality as I'm dealing with or have been dealing with myself. So it's you're good. You're fine.
Yeah, I think
people on the show are normal, but it's normalized now. Me cutting out.
Yeah,
so you're good.
yeah. But yeah, Galen had a normal life. I mean, after she moved in there, and I don't even know if she remembers this, but Flora used to have this thing called the Moonlight Madness. So, Harvest Moon, because we're farmers here. So they would have this little thing over in Flora, which was street festival or whatever. And I remember going over there, and I don't even remember Galen if she even noticed that we were there. Me and my husband rode over on the motorcycle, and I'm a people watcher, and I watched her and those girls. They just ran up and around and had their faces painted. And those pictures are on Facebook too.
Yeah.
But just the joy, the literal joy. And this is like, I think this was September, and being able to have the money to take them and get school clothes and all those things, just, and then for it to be over, so fast.
So when you say it was a community thing, and with how small that community is and how they know kind of, everybody knows everybody's business in those small communities, was it one of those things where everybody, whether people might have good intentions or bad intentions, it was a well-known thing when the community was helping? Was it like the people with good and bad intentions, it kind of would have been well known in the community, or was it kind of like a...
See, the Flora community, I don't know a lot about, because I spent a lot of my time more out like on the Tippecanoe River area, about kind of like out there where Jackie lived out there. And then we moved here to town. But the Flora, see, they're a little poorer of a community. than
Yeah.
Delphi. They're a smaller community. They don't have as
Mhm.
much opportunity over there, like business. So for
Mhm.
jobs, it's a minimal. It's like gas station, the little grocery store, So
Just a couple.
yeah, so the people that live over there, and Galen wasn't the only. I mean, her dad was living there. There was the other couple, biracial couple that lives there, and then there was another biracial couple. There were other children. So then when people say, well, wait, it was racial, well, if it was, then how about them?
Yeah, that's a good question.
How about them? So then it
right.
takes me back to still I'm at the hero worship or hero thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I have a hard time with it being even that, because there were other families there. It wasn't just Galen.
So with these other fires or arsons that have taken place in this county, do other people end up passing from them, or are most of them where the people get out, it's just the house? You know what I'm saying? Could have this been a situation where maybe it wasn't necessarily that, it was something where the house was actually, I would say target, and maybe they fumbled it up so bad that they weren't able to get everybody out? Is it because when you have to explore that kind of side,
what happened?
yeah.
Okay, so see, I have to the timeline. Thursday night, the girls, the fire was Sunday or Monday early morning. The Thursday evening, and before the fires, the girls were getting ready for their cheerleading competition, and they spent some time out at Aunt Jackie's. There's a lot of makeup and hair that had to be done for this, and so then there was a couple days that Friday and Thursday and Friday I was out there. I was out there Friday night, and the girls out there cheering through the house, yelling and screaming and stuff, and Jackie getting them ready. So then they spent the night at Aunt Jackie's, Galen and the girls. So no one was at the home, So Saturday they were at the competition, and then they didn't get in until really Sunday early morning. I believe Galen worked that morning. I think that's what she said. She worked Sunday morning. There's some things I don't remember as well. And then Anna had a basketball game later that afternoon. So she was in and out of the home. So that Sunday, it was not like, I know it was probably, it was cold. So the girls probably stayed in, after, the big competition and everything. And Galen worked, and then the basketball game, they went to the school and back. And then they were in the home. Galen, she always cooked. She, no matter spaghetti, whatever, she was a good cook. Okay, she cooked. She always cooked with the, with the girls. So it was normal, just like a normal.
So they were. It's not like they weren't supposed to be there.
Right.
It was just a normal.
They were, no one would have known, except for maybe that. And I can't always think of her name. Oh, what's her name? The one that killed the gentleman over there, Coach.
Jennifer Barnes.
Yeah, Jennifer Barnes. Yeah, Jennifer Barnes had been by Galen's and Corey Dean that evening, and then that's it. Then she wakes up at,
And Jennifer
Barnes. Yeah, and Flora. Coach shaking his head again.
And Flora,
yeah. What? That they lured a guy in that thought he was going to have relations with her, right? And they rolled him and ended up
killing him with a baseball bat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this was how long after the Flora incident? Like, was this like 2 years later?
No, yeah, it was not long after the Delphi. We're talking Delphi incident. This is, I'm thinking a couple years, 2 or 3 years ago, because they just had their trial here in Carroll County.
It wasn't like it happened and then Galen let her in her house after she did this. This happened.
No. This was after.
Yeah.
This is.
So did they know something?
Yeah.
Like
I believe that there's now. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Here's like a funny thing, and it's another crazy coincidence, but Galen had been talking to, or maybe in his opinion was different, a kid named Colton Creasy, and they were friends, or Colton maybe thought was something else. If I'm not mistaken, Colton was dating Jennifer Barnes until they found out they were cousins. Is that right?
Yes.
CJ, you should see your face.
Look at my face.
This is Flora.
Detective Golden has the perfect emoji. It's just like, what?
Like, whoops, right? We're cousins. Oh, well.
You're just not. It's the truth. It's so hard to go past things. I'm like I could I go past things that I'd be like, guys, you should see my bed over here. So it's like I turn the computer, it's full of stuff.
Yeah.
Full. I'm like, you could just laugh your way all the way to the bank.
So were there previous tenants before? Was it a vacant property for a long period of time?
It was vacant for a little bit. I'm not sure. So in the civil documents, which that's the only way you would find out anything about this case is through the civil documents, because they won't give us anything. Nothing has ever been released until the civil court case. And when the civil documents started coming out is kind of how we were able to read different things, like Josh Ayers, which is, on the town council. Okay. In his deposition in the civil case states that he does not know who Todd Trent is. Well, Todd Trent is actually the fire chief now, and he is the man that took over for Adam Randall right after Adam Randall stepped down. Todd Trent, on a monthly basis, sits in a meeting with Josh Ayers. But in Josh Ayers' deposition, he says he doesn't know him. So there's so much.
So there's a lot of these documents that are out there?
Oh, all these documents are out there. I'd like to. There's so much stuff. Yeah. There's so much stuff. It's like
I'd like to look into these documents.
I would love for you to. We could just
because I love looking into documents.
Everybody, or Kathy, do you want to direct him to one of the
sites?
Well,
actually, the Reddit. I went to the Reddit site and I was having a hard time getting some of the documents. I do think there's some that's still on the Flora Foundation page that I can do and move and take care of. But, you were talking about Colton Creasy, and there was it's called a supplement one. It's a narrative. It came from Senior Trooper Edwards he's from Indiana State Police. There's 2 copies. So if you can see, like, there's one that's very edited and one that has a part that isn't edited. And I went out again. Oh, I'm back. I went out. I'm back.
No, okay. I zoomed you in when you were showing them.
So no, you're fine. You don't have to really. Okay. So you were talking about Colton Creasy. So in the edited part that we weren't able to read, it says Prosecutor Ives also stated that an ex-boyfriend of Mrs. Rose was interviewed, and that during his statement he mentioned contacting Mrs. Rose by text at a time that would have been prior to the fire occurring to check on her well-being. So supposedly he did that prior to check on her well-being. Prosecutor Ives asked for my assistance in examining the ex-boyfriend Colton Creasy phone records once they were returned and to assist with the investigation. That's it. There's nothing. And past that, they talk about Denny Randall. Okay, so what happened here? Where's those records? What was on them? Yeah.
And there's no gag order, so exactly why?
Well, we have the Colton Creasy, the police interview too, and he's a hot shot when he's talking in there. And I read it, and one of the crazy things is he has a fire investigator in there with the cop interviewing him, and I've never heard of that. Maybe that's an Indiana thing, but here a fireman that had anything to do with that fire would not be in an interview. It would be the cops conducting it, but he lies 3 or 4 times in there. And they don't call him out.
Todd Trent, the fire chief, he was deputized at Carroll County Sheriff right after the fire so he could investigate that. Well, that was really funny. Was it in the 2 weeks before the Indiana State Police take it over, or was it after the 2 weeks?
Yeah. He was
I'm
deputized. Confused. I mean, who is he? Wyatt Earp?
He was deputized as Carroll County Sheriff. Or Carroll County Deputy. Yes, he was. Goodness. Yes.
Yeah, I don't think any fire people from that fire should have been in that interview. That should be law enforcement totally. I've never heard of that either.
Yeah, he was.
We'll send you that, EJ. You can read it for yourself. That's where that lady makes the statement about the homeowner too. It's all in
17 pages. 17 pages, Coach.
Yeah, I would love to look through whatever the document because
if you like to read, you would just.
I'll do a whole day show
he has some interesting friends too. Interesting friends.
Very. Yeah. He's a what do you call that? That has the mask. I can't remember. He's not. I mean, I think at one point they said he had a racist tattoo. I don't know that. I mean, I don't think he would have been dating Galen if he was racist. And if it was a racist tattoo he had, it was probably something like, when we're younger and we do something stupid, it might not.
Or else he got it after the fire.
Oh, trust me, my tattoos are cover-ups. Yeah.
You think
he had it before when he was dating Galen. It was
no. I'm thinking of Adam Randall's tattoo.
Oh no, that
one.
Talk about that tattoo, Kathy. You want to talk about that tattoo? She probably has a picture of it.
Had it all in her lap, I think.
But I know
that's a
we're
creepy picture.
Broad strokes, guys, but please get into this case. The more eyes, the better. Maybe someone here in this chat tonight will see something.
And definitely, this stuff here, and that's what why I wanted to come on, because I talked to Galen the other day, and even though that she has settled in the court case with that, we have to realize it's been 6 years, and that's a lot on her. A lot of things have came out through that civil case that helps with the criminal case. There's a lot of things here. It's just getting them together, putting eyes to them. I spent a lot of time putting stuff together and just trying to help. Meow and I have helped start a foundation, it's called Flora4. In the beginning, we were kind of confused on where we were going, what we wanted to do with it, how we wanted it to affect. You have to realize I've been pretty angry with this community. I've been pretty angry with what happened over there. Firefighter wise, just angry about a lot of things, but the direction of the foundation needs to go for the Flora4 girls to help fire victims, and especially in our community. I mean, we have such a need. Yeah, I mean, for fire victims just over there in that area alone. Coach, I spoke with there in Lafayette, the inspector that comes to our buildings, and he said sometimes it takes Red Cross up to 2 hours sometimes to get on a scene,
Oh, wow.
of a fire.
Yeah, even mine it took, it was about 2 hours before, and then they had to deal with the other family first, which was totally understandable. I'm just here by myself on this,
but CJ. The thing of it is that, like I was talking to him, even in an apartment fire, that they're there to fight the fire. They want to help you guys. They want to make sure you have everything, but sometimes they can't. And that's where I think that our foundation may help find a niche, that something maybe we could supply the firefighters for the truck, maybe something small, maybe I don't know, but I'm going to try to work here in the community. I've already spoke to a few people. I want the foundation to show what the girls would have done with their lives. I know each one of those little girls would have been givers. This is what they would have wanted. They would have, if we just purchase a lot of teddy bears, or we get some sort of warming blankets, whatever it's going to be, that's what our foundation is moving to. After the first of the year, I've been trying to redo the website, redo everything. The merchandise will just be some shirts. Everything else, I do believe once we figure out what the need is, we're going to maybe partner up with maybe some Amazon and put some stuff on there so it can be purchased. and maybe even sent directly to the fires department. You know what I'm saying? Just looking for things, you know.
Do me a favor. Anytime that you want to promote anything that you're doing with the organization or the fundraisers or anything, please reach out and let me know, and we'll do a show on it.
Oh, well, thank you
whatever
very
your
much.
schedule would be totally cool with me. I would like to be able to use this platform to be able to highlight that stuff too. So if you have anything, any kind of announcements or whatever, I would love to.
Right now,
even
I have to tell everybody, I saw Jinx just post the store. I have the store down right now. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I messed up and I had our EIN documentation that I was supposed to submit, and they all my orders have been fulfilled up till now, but they kind of stop things because they need my paperwork. And I forgot. And it's in this little different. I work 8 to 5, guys. I have 4 grandkids. So once I get that submitted and they undo everything, I'm going to open the store back up. But I can't right now because everything's a little frozen because I didn't upload my EIN paperwork correctly. And if you ask Jinx, I'm no good at this.
just for the store? Just for the store?
Yeah. Well, we have a website, and then our merchandise is hooked up through Printful, which we design and make it. We put it on our store to sell, but because I'm a business, because we are actually Flora4, I have to have an EIN. And since we're selling merchandise with taxes, things like that, they asked me for it back in October and I forgot. They said,
I can send you, if you're interested, just let me know. I can send you, or have somebody reach out. I can send you other options that you probably don't have to do that.
Yeah, anything.
You know what I mean?
Actually, anything that you have. Like right now, we have, our website through Squarespace. We're just building, it's new. It's something I've never done before. I'm very excited. I want the girls to have a legacy, to live on in the memory. I mean, it's been 7 years and we haven't been able to solve it. So much negative things have happened. It is time to make a positive out of a negative, and it's time to move forward. And I will always come and do any shows anybody asks and talk about those little girls. I'll be happy to do anything. I just know right now I gotta, after get this foundation after the first of the year, and I gotta start raising some money and helping some people.
Well, do me a favor. After you get through the holidays and you even if you want help after the holidays with navigating, I'll send some links to Jinx, and then you can check it out. It's a merch store that I've been using. But you might have some other options that you can use where they're not going to hold you up, because when it comes to the paperwork and the taxes, you already have to do that anyway. And this other stuff, I've had a merch store for a year, so I've never had to do anything like that.
Maybe we do need to talk, because it's been going well. Actually, Coach, you've sold a coffee mug and I think maybe something else. And I can't remember everything. I haven't been on the store, but we have sold like 29 items ever since we started putting all your guys' stuff up there.
How much is a coffee cup?
I think it was I don't know. I think it was $9.99 or something like that.
Is there?
Yeah. As soon as it's going to take. They told me it was going to take maybe 24 to 48 hours to review to make sure my stuff is right, which my stuff is right. I just didn't get it uploaded correctly. Right. And once that, they'll unfreeze my stuff, and then I will put all that merchandise back, guys, because I felt bad, but I didn't want anybody to order anything and then something happened and them not get it. And
Well, StreamYard. What we can do is
some other things. So
Yeah, I would like to get a couple things from the store, and StreamYard has this really cool giveaway feature now where
They
people can, they can hashtag whatever you want to put it in, and you can wait until however many people in the show, in the chat, enter into the contest, and then it does its own winner feature. All you have to
wow.
do is go to streamyard.com/giveaway. And then while you're live, like if you're live, Coach Kev, you would just go to streamyard.com/giveaway. It takes you to a website. You click on your live that you're doing if you're using StreamYard, and then it'll give you an option where you know, I've been doing it. I've gave away 2 coffee cups, hashtag PPP. And anybody that wants to enter in can just type in hashtag PPP. It enters all the people in its own little StreamYard giveaway thing. And then you just hit go. And then it just goes and then stops on one person that entered in your chat. I would like to kind of do that, after the holidays when you have all that stuff set. I would like to get a couple things and then do a giveaway for the show as well, where we're giving away some items and stuff. Yeah.
I should have it back up by Monday or Tuesday, guys.
Okay.
Great. Thanks, Deb. Yeah. Deb got a coffee cup of mine. Thank you.
I know.
I was worried you would buy any of my stuff, I told Kathy.
Yeah.
I got a Coach Kev coffee mug.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's been really good.
Yeah, I want to do what I can.
And I came up with that promotion. I thought was pretty awesome. And I know that there's things on there from different the unraveling different things. I have everything hid right now because it still says merch, but I hid it all. It's controversial, but for us, to me, it doesn't make any difference. They've supported the girls, and just like Coach said, I will share anything with anyone that has a positive word about the Flora4. I mean, right. I'm over the negativity, over all that. I mean, I just want to make sure that the girls has a positive impact. That's all I want. That's all Gaylin wants. She said, right. Kathy, don't stop talking about them. Don't stop letting, people know who they are. I mean, just because she's not as comfortable doing this or spreading the word, doesn't mean that I can't do that for her. I try not to ever speak for her. I know she's grateful for everyone. She tells me all the time how grateful she is for everything that everyone's done. I sent her the pictures of the graves where me and Jinx and the other ladies went and decorated. And she is ecstatic. She's so grateful that the girls have the community of people, still fighting for them. And I appreciate everyone. I don't care who you are. If you have something good to say about Gaylin and these girls, then
right. Yeah, because really it comes down, and that's why, like, we discuss this on shows where, the negativity that comes from people, if they could only turn that into a positive direction, can you imagine the justice that these victims out here would have? It wouldn't take no time. It wouldn't take no time. And it's about the victims. It's about the families.
What was it, Coach?
Sorry. Now, I was just going to say that I've said it before on other shows and lives or whatever, but if you look at the people that are on the site selling stuff, everyone's kind of come together there. We might have different opinions on other cases or other things or the way law should be administered or this or that. But when it comes to Flora, everybody's all in on Flora. And I would like to see more creators, more people get involved. We don't care what you think about Delphi. We don't care if you think that Kennedy was killed by Oswald. None of that matters when you step in this space here. Like, this space is Flora space. We're all together. When we leave Flora space, then we can all have our different opinions and everything else. But everybody's like in agreement. Everyone's moving in tandem in Flora.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. I think so too. It's look, those little girls were positive. They were grateful for everything that they had. As I go back through Galen's Facebook and I look at different things, and there was just the one picture that they're sitting on the floor and they're eating, and Galen posted, they said, we're going to go ahead and pray over our food just like our mama wanted us to, because, sitting on the floor, they just, they were wonderful little girls. And I need to highlight that. I don't need to, the negativity of the mother did it or this or that. No, let's talk about the girls. Let's talk about their beauty. Let's talk about, what their future would have looked like. I'm tired of talking about the past and all the negativity. And I try to tell people, it's about Galen and the girls, or it's about Becky and them. It's not about you. You're not the victim.
Mm-hmm.
They are the victims,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's where a lot of the negativity comes from, is their own ego, and their own focus on themselves instead of the victims and the truth, honestly. And it is sad that shit can, but it's with the good there's the bad, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. And this is why I like you guys, both of you guys, and I watch a lot of people, just the fairness and how the awareness, and you guys may disagree with someone, but that's all it is. It's a disagreement. Mm-hmm. We're adults. We move on. We move forward. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's
yeah.
There should be nothing else but that. I mean, it bothers me. You can tell it really bothers me when the adults act like kids.
No, it does.
A lot of people asking about Galen and talking to the police, and I know that, we need to talk to her. Well, that's not exactly a true narrative that you're hearing from the police, because I'm sure Kathy could tell you there's been multiple times where we reached out, never heard anything back, never updated on the case. So when they say we need to do this, well, then do it. Don't just say, well, you do this or you do that. But I think Kathy could tell you she's tried to reach out. She's tried to ask what's going on. She's tried to give information. So everything that they're saying isn't totally quite true.
Yeah, with Galen, I mean, she was here until I can't remember how long, because she got a job and she had an apartment, and then she ended up moving to California with her mom. And if I lost my 4 kids, I mean, I don't even know if I'd be here, let alone I would definitely want to be with my mom too, so, people's like, well, she ran. Well, no, she didn't. She had nothing.
That was her home. That's her home. She went home.
She went home to her mom. Yeah, she went to her mom, guys. I mean, like, everybody thinks, oh, she left. She took off. She left from Flora. Well, what did she have in Flora? Did they want her to move back in with her father so she could drive back and forth past the house on a daily basis to remember that her girls were dead? Because that wasn't going to happen either. I mean, she had a grandmother that lived in Indianapolis. She stayed with her grandmother until she got strong enough to get a job. And wait, she got a job after losing her 4 daughters and was working a hotel, and she ended up meeting the NAACP, had a convention there, and that's how she met them. And that's kind of how they got involved with that. Barbara Bowles and did the interview, and Carter. And I mean, people's, she called the NAACP. No, she didn't. She was the receptionist at the hotel where she worked, and they recognized her. She was on TV everywhere. They had a NAACP conference, NAACP conference in that hotel. So, and that's how they recognized her. And they asked, can we help you? And then I don't know what happened there. They acted like they wanted to be involved, and they had the press conference, and then people from the committee that we had went and everything. And the next thing you know, Doug Carter had a press conference against it, and the next thing you know,
What?
that was it. Like,
I think the police wafted the smell of guilt toward Galen to the NAACP, and the NAACP backed away, because I think the police believed that early on. Now they know it's BS now, but I truly believe that's what happened, and that's what got them to back away.
Wow. Because they were
there are statements where somebody, let's see, the Flora police met 2 girls at the dollar store parking lot, and one was a sister to a sister. It's in these. I would read it verbatim, but it's funny. To a sister of a sister, and then the sister said that Galen was selling drugs and guns. Huh? You got all that in the dollar store parking lot? Well, you guys are good. Yeah. Oh, wait. Where's she at now?
Why are all these interviews always conducted in parking lots out there?
Yeah. Coach Kev, I have no idea.
Well,
but this one here, look her record up, because in the past 6 years, she spent most of her time in the Carroll County Jail. So she was a wonderful character witness. Wonderful.
Right.
Just like Jennifer Barnes, Coach, that's one of their witnesses against Galen. Okay. The murderer. All those people, Snoop Dogg, the other girl, Jennifer's daughter, she was a witness.
Jennifer's daughter now was dating Snoop then, right?
She married him.
Oh, they got married. So he was dating her mom, and then mom went to jail. He took her, the daughter. And they're of age. They're not like, she's not like young, but yeah, beyond bizarre.
So wait a minute. I think
There's
Jennifer
so many names.
I thought she married him. Corey Dean was his name, and Jennifer Dean was her name.
But I thought something happened when she went to jail, and he was dating her daughter then.
Yeah, now him and her daughter and him. Yeah, yep.
And this is who the police and not necessarily the police, maybe the community choose to believe over Galen. Think about that. Like what? I don't know.
Over a mother that hasn't been there 6 years, but these people have lived in the community forever, and they're so trustable.
And let me tell you this with 100% confidence, that I've seen mothers in the street screaming and their children are stuck in the house, and I've seen it, I don't even know how many, maybe 3 or 4 times, and every time it's exactly the same. Every time they look like Galen looked. Every single time. That's how they act. They're losing their mind. They can't run in because their flesh is melting off because they keep running in and out. But that's what they look like. So they're like, oh, she didn't do this, or no, that's what a distressed mom looks like. And it's
as you read Elizabeth Ayres' statement, Coach, just like you said, Galen, full of soot and everything. Yeah. When she come out the first time to Elizabeth Ayres' own statement tells how bad Galen looked, how she kept trying to go back in and get them girls.
So was she looking out the window, or was she outside? Like, did Galen run to her?
I don't know. She heard Galen screaming, I guess, and Galen might have. So
how do you, like, in the dark, if you're inside a house, how can you tell if somebody, you know what I'm saying?
She said she woke up at 2:45 and she was laying in bed awake. Elizabeth Ayres.
So she was inside her bedroom and looked out her window.
Yeah.
And then...
So prior to the fire happening, she was awake, laying in her bed. Elizabeth Ayres. And her boyfriend, husband, Adam Ayres. Whatever, husband.
I wonder if she heard a bump.
And he's in prison too. Huh?
I wonder if she heard like some kind of movement, because a half an hour, depending on what the fire could have took a half an hour to get shown. So I wonder if something happened and she heard like a bump and kind of woke up and was kind of like, what was that? Didn't hear anything.
If you read it in her statement here, because I just read it, in the beginning, it just says that she woke up and couldn't go back to sleep at 2:45. That's what it says.
Woke up, couldn't go back to sleep. The cops are like, well, what woke you up? Did anything wake you up? Or, you woke up and then on to the next thing. Did something wake you up?
Right.
Or what did you hear?
What woke you up? Yeah, that's not a normal hour. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Well, and of course, Adam Ayres now, I believe he's in prison. I haven't looked it up, but of course he has quite the record because he has raped his wife, beat his wife. And now just 6-8 months ago, their eldest son has some charges against him for some sort of minor sexual
Oh,
misconduct.
man.
Miranda,
Wow.
the firefighters eventually got to them and removed and extricated them. She asked who finally got to the girls and got them out. It was eventually the firefighters. I don't know which ones exactly, but we do know that
and that
Dissinger was one
right after they got
one of the ones
Yoder
that
and Dysinger out.
Yeah,
right after they got them out is when they went in and were able.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, after Dysinger and Yoder were back down the steps, and you hear that, and they don't know where they're at or whatever, and then they had to go in and get them, and then they were brought out. And the EMT that worked on Drew Yoder lived in the house right behind the house.
Yeah.
She was an EMT. Her and her girlfriend lived there. And she was one of the EMTs. And she worked on Drew Yoder. And when I questioned her when the house was being taken down of, how do I put it? I asked her who pronounced the girls dead. She said she did not know. I said, was the coroner on the scene yet? No. Well, how could you guys pronounce, how were they pronounced dead and moved to the fire department? And she said that the EMTs are allowed to pronounce them dead. And she also said that somebody also had told me that on a scene, when it's like a traumatic scene like that they are able to move before the community can see, which
you back the community up. You back the community up. You block roads off. You tell people to stay in their houses. Unfortunately, there's deceased children. You keep the scene intact. You remove the community from the scene. I've seen it 100 times.
There's people walking up and down in front of the dash cam, like nonchalant.
Guys walking,
it's like,
it's
Why are you not like? Why is nobody helping?
There's no scene integrity. That's up to the police. You lock the scene now. Boom. And this block it with cars, block it with vehicles. No one's coming here. No one's coming to see anything. You did it for media too. Because if you don't put a perimeter up, media will just walk across the street and start filming anything.
Right.
But if there's a perimeter, they won't go past that perimeter unless they're being sneaky. And if they do that, you could probably arrest them then. Say, hey, we got a perimeter here. But if it's haphazard, which the way it was, you remove the community. That's simple. That's 101. Police work, crime scene preservation. If people are coming out of their house, sir, ma'am, please stay in your home. You go over to them as a fireman, like, listen, there's something out there you don't want to see. Please just stay in your house. No one's walking down the street seeing what's going on. We're stopping you 2 blocks away. If you come through this tape, you're getting arrested. That's it. Done. Simple. That's all they had to do.
Well, Coach, remember in the dash cam video as we're watching it, the police officer on the other street just sitting there with his lights on.
I remember when they turned the corner.
When you turn the corner, there's the one just sitting. He's not even on the street where the fire. What's he doing?
No.
What is he doing?
Right.
What is he doing sitting there?
I don't know. Miranda, I'm not exactly sure the time, but I would say
here. Let me tell you. Hang on.
Was it 7 minutes from the time they got on scene? I don't know why that number's in my head.
I thought it was like 8.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
So 3:28, or is it 3:28? Yeah, 3:28 is when Elizabeth Ayers called Josh Ayers. So 3:28. So if we back it up a little bit, it's when Galen first noticed the fire. So what we'll give a couple minutes, Coach, or a minute. But when she got up and realized, and she did come around and she did yell for the girls.
2 or 3 minutes. 2 or 3 minutes, I'd say that would take.
I would say, and then by the time she came out, and so then Elizabeth Ayers is the 3:28. That's when she called, and that at 3:35:23 is when the first tone went out. Okay, and so 3:40 arrived at site. At 3:42, Drew Yoder and Dysinger re-entered the structure. So at 3:42 is when Dysinger and Yoder entered. At 3:52 is when Drew Yoder was brought out. Within 20, I wrote 22 minutes from 911 call, girls were brought out. That's what I wrote. I don't know. It's possible I wrote that. That's what I wrote. 22
Real quick,
minutes.
if I can, Miranda had a question. Did the girls not realize there was a fire? Miranda, they didn't have any working smoke detectors, so there was nothing that's going to wake them up. People think that in fires, when they smell smoke, they're going to wake up. It puts you further to sleep. 1 or 2 gulps of superheated gas like that, and you're pretty much out of it. But Kathy, we forgot to mention something. So Drew Yoder and Dysinger get there. There's no fire department coming. Drew Yoder gets back in his car and drives to the fire department, which no one's at. There's a guy standing in there. And to me, it sounds like the guy says, I work on computers. Drew Yoder gets a face piece and then grabs an air pack. I don't know if he had an air pack in his car or wants the thing pulled up. He puts a face piece and an air pack on. He's a volunteer fireman in another community. So with his police uniform, face piece, and air pack, he goes in, and that's when he gets himself in trouble. And that's when you see him on the steps flipped over. You could see his pass, his portable count safety system here blinking. It's an alarm. We get visual alarms. That's a visual alarm, and you'll hear kind of going off. That is his pass device going off for lack of movement, exposure to heat, or he set it off himself. I think it's from lack of movement. The way it kicks on, I would think.
I think so too. And I took the this is the call run sheets. What I took here that was from the fire department, and I kind of went through that. I think I got the Carroll County from the sheriff's department, the minute by minute, and then these are the documents that I got from the civil case. So I tried, and I'm not very good at this. I try to match up from these to these, and then there's Galen's testimony in the civil case, and there's times and stuff in there to match up with these. So there's there's just so much in between. Just like yeah.
Was Yoder the only officer there? Because
No,
I didn't.
Josh Dysinger arrived at
Dysinger. Okay.
Yeah, I think Dysinger was actually there a few seconds earlier, right? Because when Yoder pulls up,
really?
His car's off to the side. I don't know if he has dash cam or not. He's a local lawman, so the county might have a little more funds than locally. But Miranda put in there, so Drew Yoder's an actual hero. I could tell you what I see on the dash cam, and this is one of the things I'd like to talk about. I could see what I see on the dash cam is I see him going in and out and him doing things he shouldn't do as a police officer. He doesn't have the proper PPE, the proper gear on, but I see him in there doing and trying. I think it's because his relationship he had with Galen and seeing the girls. It was rumored that he waved to everyone. They lived on the main street. Yoder ride by in a police car. It was just there was no relationship, just a general, hey, how are you doing? He's a nice guy. I saw that there. I know that Drew Yoder's been a first responder to a lot of other incidents, including Delphi, who knows exactly he was involved in recovering the bodies there. And I know there's been other fires that Dysinger's involved with too. There's 2 guys there that showed up. Here's what I'll say. I think Drew Yoder did everything he could at that scene. I think Drew Yoder's carrying a heavy burden. Drew Yoder gave it all he had. Drew Yoder that night had balls like 2 heads duct taped together. And that's like the best compliment I could give another fireman. And for whatever reason, whatever happened. And I think he's had to eat crap for years. And I'm not sure exactly why. And I'm not saying he's part of any conspiracy or any cover-up, but he's had to live with some untruths that have been passed on to the community. And, if that guy would ever want to come home, and I know he lives there and he's a police officer, and he has a beautiful family and a great career, but if he ever wants to come home and come into the fold and say, hey, listen, I just need to get this off my chest. I need to say X, Y, and Z to whomever, whether it's me, whether it's to a police. If it doesn't have to be police, it doesn't have to be public. But you could give us something that we need and help. And I know that you want to. I really, really, really believe that he wants to.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. I feel the same way. Hey, somebody just asked, do we have the autopsy reports? Yes. Yes, we do. Yes, we sure do. If anybody would ever like to see any of this stuff, Coach, I could try to, there's just so many documents that, we have all that too.
If there's
I have that digitally. I could send that
email me. Yeah. I would love to do a show if you guys would like to come back on and we go through the documents. I would
Hey,
love to.
before you start this, can we take a quick 2-minute break before you start the dash cam?
Oh, I'm
EJ,
sharing the
can I take a quick
link.
2-minute break before you start the dash?
Yeah, go ahead. I was gonna use my dash cam because it's a little quicker. I wanted to share this link with everybody because this is your deep dive into the dash cam, which it looks like you go a good hour.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'll be right back. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, that was one of that's what that was one of my early videos there. We
is
break
this not
it
the
down.
one?
No, okay. That's fine. That's probably the most the most.
I mean, we
got most granular, if you would say, on it, and just
how much time? I know you. I don't know if you're limited on time or not. I mean, I'll definitely play this hour-long version if you guys want.
Well, no, just if you could just play. I wouldn't play the whole video because we stop and talk. But the dash cam itself is like 20 minutes. I have enough time to walk you through that. I just need a 2-minute break to situate the pup here.
Yeah,
because he's looking up at me, and I think he's pissed because he's hungry. So
let me see if I can
about 2 minutes, all right, and I'll pop back in. No, not even a potty break for me, detective. I got to feed the dog. Hold
on. Yeah, here's that link if you guys want to check. This is where Coach Kev and Meowzadong did a deep dive on the body cam. So definitely go sub to Coach Kev if you're not. And then also go show some love on this video. It's labeled Flora4 Dash Cam Volume 2. I'm going to go ahead and hit the like on that. And I would like to sit here and see what he has to say on this too. Sometime, but I know that they're kind of limited on time, and I don't want to drag it out any further for them. But we could still definitely go into it too. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to find the version that I did. All right, here it is right here.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, guys, had to go to the bathroom.
Oh, you're good.
Had to run.
Yeah, if I would love to look through those documents, really.
I have so much. I will. Yeah. I'd be so happy to share them with anyone that wants to look through them and read them. I mean, I always just say in the beginning when I started collecting this, the anonymous letter. I don't know if I've mentioned this, but back in in the beginning, someone wrote an anonymous letter and they sent it to Fox 59 News. Asha Husney was the reporter and she worked on the case. She just adored Galen and everybody, but she's the one that let us have the letter. A year later, the letter was sent to one of Galen's attorneys, and attached to the letter was a picture, and that's the one that has all the tattoos of Adam Randall's back. Where's that? This one. So this was sent, this one here. So there's actually 2 copies of an anonymous letter that was sent. There would be the one that was sent originally to Fox 59 News that I have, and then the one that originally sent to the attorney, and then the one that was sent to the attorney has a picture added and an added paragraph.
Wow.
I also took the time to have the letter analyzed. I had somebody that was they're working on, but anyway, they were out of California. I know she probably hates when I have it, but anyway, I don't know who analyzed it, but the person that had it sent had it analyzed, so I have that. They believe the person that wrote the letter was probably somebody from the fire department, was an upper. Let's see. They believe that they work. The terminology in the actual anonymous letter points to someone on the fire department. When we had the letter analyzed, they think it's somebody that is in charge. It's the fire chief. It's someone. So I mean,
what did they say?
intelligence on some of this stuff. I just don't. It just never went anywhere. It's just never went anywhere.
What did the anonymous letters state?
Oh, it says a lot of stuff. We're gonna send that to you too, aren't we?
Okay.
I would
love to do a show where we go into the docs. Yeah, go ahead.
I immediately thought that was a firefighter that wrote that letter because of the terminology. First time I saw it, and they waft some of the blame at Yoder and Dissinger, saying we had to waste time to save them and this and that. But to say no one else was going in. To be honest with you, in my opinion, it was just the delay in 911 calls. The fire department was a mile away. They can't help it. It's a volunteer department. They're at home. They got to respond. The guy in the station who's in the station with the door open and says, I only work on computers. Well, guess what, buddy? Tonight you do more than that. Get your ass in the truck. There's little girls in there.
He sounded crabby when the officer showed up. Yeah, the thing that stuck out to me is like, wow, is he crabby that somebody's showing up and they need it? He sounded like he was pissed off.
It sounded to me like he said, I work on computers.
We're talking 3:30 in the morning. What are you doing there at 3:30 in the morning working on a computer? We're talking volunteer. Nobody's. Wait a minute. We roll the streets up at midnight. What are you doing there at 3:30? You know, what are you doing?
I don't understand it, but yeah, we'll share the letter with you. You could share it out. Maybe have us back on, and we could get it to you. You could put it up to see what people think. But then my next thing was, well, what fireman wrote the letter? And I thought it was him. Then I'm looking at this, but to me, I don't know that for a fact, but I believe that a fireman wrote that from the first time I read it. Miranda's asking, Miranda, if you give me a few, or maybe Kathy can, we'll send it to you on Discord. It's a public thing.
Oh, yeah.
You can look it up. You could go to
all
YouTube,
of it's public.
Google it.
I got tired of holding on to it after 6 years. I got tired of holding on to all this stuff after 6 years, and I just let everybody have it. I'm tired of holding. I mean, what does it do good for me? I mean, like, I've had it for a long time. I when I first got it, I presented it to somebody that lived over in the community, and I was told it was probably a lot of lies. So,
oh wow,
yeah, it's I don't think it's all, but it's. I think when we find out officially who wrote the letter and put all this together, it's all going to make sense. But CJ Cask, what happened to Yoder? I think he was intubated. I believe Galen they were both intubated. And if you know what that means, they put a tube down your throat, so you're in bad shape. But Yoder was in a coma for a week or two, Kathy.
Wow.
Oh yeah, he was in very bad shape.
Yeah, he was near death.
Whatever. I mean, yeah. So because he grabbed the door handle, he was around the corner. Supposedly he had a hold of it, and then something. That's when you hear it on the dash cam where it explodes or something happens. Auto quit. And then you hear that, and then he goes either back down the steps. I mean, so the door was open. I mean, there was two girls found on the stairs, and one was still in bed and one was under, the smaller ones. Oh my God. So the two older. And so when she remembers when she screamed for them. You know, I mean, that's something that I think that you would do automatically. Like she went around the corner, and so she's screaming because she realizes. So now she's intaking all this smoke as she's screaming for them. I believe Kiana may have woke up, or Kiara, both. I don't know that the two smaller ones ever did wake up. And if they did, I think the one was under the bed scared. Because that's where she was found, and the other one. You need
to understand in fires that roughly 80% of the people that perish in fires never get touched by flame. It's always the smoke. So that smoke is not only noxious what the chemicals are, and all the materials in your home, your carpet, your couch. Some of it puts off hydrogen cyanide. So a couple gulps of that, it literally could drop you and end your life. With two breaths, and that's it.
It was crazy for me because when it happened here, the neighbor the neighbor was trying to put out a fire on a grease fire with water, and I was in the middle of a show, and I was playing. We were talking about Stephen Smith, and we were doing a recap, and I hit play on a show that Silky was on, and you can tell on the video, like, seconds before I take me off camera, I'm like, to me, it smelled like somebody had lit a grill outside, and I'm like, what the hell? Why do I have a window open? It just it smelled like somebody's grill, with lighter fluid or whatever. And I went downstairs and I looked outside and I didn't see anything. And I looked at my windows downstairs and I'm like, well, there's no windows, and I didn't smell it anymore. And then this was literally maybe 15 seconds. I go back upstairs to come back to the computer. As I get back up to the stairs, I look in my bathroom and there's nothing but thick black smoke. That's when I was like, shit, I need to get my gun. I need to get my documents. All I did was go into this room to get my weapon and my documents. And because I couldn't remember where I put all my documents 3 years ago in a folder, then I'm like, shit, where's it at? And just that 10 seconds of me going, where did I put it 3 years ago? And then I remembered, I went and grabbed it. As I turned around, I remember not seeing any smoke except for the smoke that was in the bathroom, and I could barely freaking breathe. And in my mind at that moment, that's when I was scared, because I was like, holy shit, I thought I had to see smoke to not breathe. And then I started freaking out and I just took off. And that's when I knew, like, you think you have no, you literally have seconds. It is not that long at all. And just because you don't see smoke doesn't mean you can't breathe. Those chemicals that you're talking about, I'm sure as I was like turning around to walk out of the door after I grabbed my stuff, and I'm like, I could barely even take a breath. And whatever those chemicals were, it was so strong. I still smell some of those chemicals to this day.
It could have caught something in the kitchen on fire, a cleaning chemical, but real quick, grease fire. Obviously, don't put water on it. It causes a volcano, like an 8th grade science project. And I tell this to people: if you can do this, if the fire has not gone out of the pot yet, the easiest way to put out a grease fire is to put the lid on it. That removes one part of the fire tetrahedron. The fire is going to go out. It's going to stink. Then you can turn the heat off it, let it cool. But if you can get a lid on that, that's the best thing to do. Other people, you could throw, this, flour stuff. Yeah, that's okay. They have extinguishers that are meant for your kitchen. You can use an ABC extinguisher. Never plunge it, because it's going to make it pour out. So you just want to kind of cover the top with it. And Miranda asked a good question about teaching kids not to hide under beds. That's something we cover in our fire prevention. But at the end of the day, kids are going to do that. And adults still go into bathtubs and turn the shower on. That's not going to save you. You have to get out. But that's something. Did anyone ever go to the schools there and explain that? We hit all the schools.
Coach,
we stop, drop, roll.
When I talked to the investigator there in Lafayette, the one that comes to my work, I talked to him, and he's very good friends with Todd Trent. And he said, yeah, Todd has to use his own budget money to bring the kids from our community to Lafayette for their fire show.
That should never be a money issue, ever. That's incredible. That's sad. That's
when
why
he
is
came
that
out, he
not?
told me that's something that that is what
that should be like from your local volunteer fire department. You have a day.
$10.
Who?
The kids.
Why does it need a budget?
Have their program.
Yeah, unless they're talking about material, you could get them stuff. But listen, there's grants. We get them. You get all this fire prevention stuff, pencils. We used to get them stickers that say precious ones. We did away with them because people would move around so much. And then this room is just a storage room. They moved out. Coloring books. You could get all that. A lot of that stuff the government will send you. FEMA will send you that stuff for free. Little fire helmets. Our union buys them. We buy these little fire helmets and things like that. We used to buy the teddy bears, like I talked to you about, Kathy, where if there'd be a fire or a car accident with a kid, you give them a teddy bear, they hold on to that teddy. It's something, but there's no reason that this is America, man. Like,
right.
Every kid from kindergarten through high school, we do it at nursing homes. We do it for adults. We ask teachers, hey, do you have any questions? Well, hey, I do have a question. Well, I had a fire and I put water on it, or this and that, or well, what do you do in an electric car? These are the questions we want to hear. But we teach the kids that when we search, one of the places we search is under the bed. We'll take a tool, not the sharp end of the tool, but the blunt end of the tool. We'll put it under the bed and move it back and forth because that's where little kids hide. We put our air packs on with our face pieces. We talk like Darth Vader. We do that to kindergarten kids. We're like, we don't want you to be scared. We want you to show you if we come in and you hear, oh, where are you at, making all this noise, we don't want them to be scared. And then the firefighter takes his mask off and says, see, it's me. I just was talking because that's my what I sound like with that on. So if you hear that in the fire, don't hide from us. Come to us because we're going to help you. And there's 4 kids since I've been here, 4 kids in my 23-year career that have saved people's lives or their homes in fires because they remember the firefighters came to their school and said to close the door when you leave the room or call 911 or whatever. And that's 4 times. I mean, that's incredible. 1 would be incredible, but kids need education.
I really don't think the little girls knew what to do. I mean, honestly, I really don't think that. I mean, I don't think that they knew what to do. I don't think that they knew to go to the window. I mean, obviously, they didn't open the door when Galen was screaming at them. Obviously, Drew Yoder opened the door. So, I mean, obviously they didn't know. And I think once the door was open, I think that the 2 tried. And then I think they overcome with the smoke and
we would have told them that you get on a porch roof. We tell people whether they're young or old, we said, if you got a porch roof, get on that porch roof, open a window, get on the porch roof. Once the door's open and then they open that door for the bedroom, they break out the window and the front door. You basically have a blowtorch blowing out like this in the front because you have all that fuel here. So that fire is sucking to the front. Now it's sucking up the steps. So you have a fire going here and up the steps. And you saw the firemen on the porch. It's lapping over their helmets. If you're going to break, you don't need to break that window. You take that line in the front door and you start putting the fire out. You put yourself in the water between the people on the steps and the girls. You start putting the fire out. Crews come behind you and do the search and rescue. You hold the fire at bay. That's how it's done. That's firefighting 101. You don't have to be a genius. That's what's done. That's what you need to do.
Well, all I know is when you watch that dash cam, it sounds like somebody's tearing down somebody's glass house.
All the.
I mean, that's all you hear. It's all you hear. It's glass breaking.
What the heck?
You're like,
it's firemen want to do something. They want to look like they're doing something. Well, that's fine. You want to do something. If you're going to be outside, you can't break glass. Stop traffic or get inside the house with an air pack.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the boss don't need you doing that.
That's what I was wondering the whole time. You're sitting there and nobody's like going in there, and it's like, what the hell's going on?
You had to.
It did make sense to me.
It's tough. It's tough to watch. It's tough to explain. But I know that there was men and women there that night that gave their all. Feel for them. I feel for them because I've been through it. Listen, I've carried dead children out of houses, and it never goes away. It's with you. It is what it is. It's part of the job, or it's part of the profession. But one of them got to know something. Like can't sit right with them. Like I can't eat this anymore. I did everything right there, and they made me eat this crap sandwich for 7 years. Well, I need to talk to somebody about it. And if it ain't a police officer, I don't go to someone on YouTube. It doesn't matter. Get it out there. You got to get it off your chest and get it out there.
Well, what I say is there's something hiding in this paperwork somewhere. And if I worked for NCIS, I'd have one of those boards. Well, I just be taping it all over my bed.
Oh, you don't have one of them, Kathy. You don't have one of those boards.
You need one with all the names. Holy crap. For real. I mean, that's exactly what I thought in my head when we were going to. I'm like,
all kind of strings tied to it.
Yeah, like with all these names or the connections and who knows
you have all these little
their boyfriend.
Who knows who and who don't know who.
Right, exactly. Well, if you guys want to watch this is when Jinx was first on the show. Shout out Jinx. I appreciate you. So you're gonna see old CJ and old Jinx on the show because this episode I think is from oh my gosh, March 30th. This is old. So I'm gonna let it play. If you want me to stop it at any time, let me know.
Yeah, just let it play and I'll be quiet. I'm muting it.
Yeah, Don't think that you can see my mute. You're going to hear me and Jinx talking because I am going to play as she's kind of showing me the body cam. Kind of like, this is going to be my first time that I'm actually seeing this body cam, and yeah, the early days. And she's going to be kind of explaining to me. So I'm going to be discovering all of this stuff, coming up with these questions. Like, this is all the first time that I've seen this. It's about 40 minutes or so. And then, like I said, if you want me to pause it at any time, just let me know and we can pause it. I know that I think when I first start watching it, we're kind of like timing how long it takes for Yoder to get from the scene to the fire department, then back to the scene. There's some things like that, but it's just a small little introduction into this body cam. And I want to say thank you to Meowzadong, because this is the channel that we used when we were watching the body cam on the show from back then. So we'll go ahead and get into this. This is March 30th, so I apologize about the this is a long time ago, but that's the link to that if you want to check it out, and we'll go ahead and get it playing. Just give me 1 second. And I'll go ahead and take us out of the screen too. That way nobody gets confused. All right. And by the way, you are going to hear, this is Meowzadong's channel. The sounds, you're not going to see anything visually graphic, but there's going to be some graphic sounds with the screaming and such. So if that is going to trigger you, I ask you, just maybe skip ahead 45 minutes or so, give or take. But just to give you a heads up, you are going to hear, I don't play the whole thing, but you are going to hear some traumatic moments as this plays. Link to the video in chat as well if you'd like to go ahead and save it for your own playlist. Make sure I like it.
You're up there? Hot. Yeah. County. Send Cutler Fire as well. Get Cutler Fire in there as well.
Silky wants to know if you read the recent police report on Flora.
Yes, ma'am, I did. And we're still waiting on the 911 call to be unsealed. Now that is another whole mess of bullshit right there on that 911 call.
Wow. Still?
Still.
Who's screaming my babies?
That's Galen Rose Mendoza.
Oh, okay.
I'll feel cool, man. I'll feel cool.
You're gonna hear him puke.
Let the window up.
If you want me to pause it at any time, please let me know.
Keep going.
You can hear them busting out windows.
Oh my! Guys, send cones. Keep sending off cones, please.
Yeah, a whole bunch of them.
Kids inside.
Yeah.
We can't get inside.
Okay, now see how much time it takes him to get to the fire station and get back.
Oh, okay. So he's.
I mean,
going
go
to
ahead and play it. I mean, just keep keep an eye on the time frame here.
Keep an eye on the time frame. All right.
This
Sorry,
is how close they are to the fire station.
Sorry, Dre. This is Flora, not FLR. Dre was asking, what is this?
Yeah, Flora, Flora. Still in Carroll County.
And this was a fire that took place at a home in 2016.
November. Yes, sir.
And a couple of people in here said that it's pretty corrupted with everything and how it went down and what's been going on since.
I absolutely 100% agree.
Okay, so keep an eye. So when he pulls away, I need to look at the time.
So yeah, so go ahead and keep an eye on whenever you hit play. Just kind of keep an eye on how long it takes him to get to the fire station.
Okay.
And back.
And back. Okay. 325.
Josh Dissinger, Miranda.
Okay, so it took about 25 seconds. 25 to 30 seconds.
To get to the fire station, yeah.
Right. Okay. And then end back.
Hey, we can roll, dude. There's people inside.
So is this like a volunteer fire station or something?
Yes,
or?
it is. They do have one person that stays there all the time.
Okay.
Now, keep in mind, the 911 call was already made, and 911 dispatchers had already let Flora Fire Station know.
Really?
Yes.
So it doesn't even look like anybody's there.
There was one person already in there. That's who Drew was telling. Come on, there's kids in there.
What?
Yeah, did you see it? It showed it in the yeah. So
yeah.
Yeah.
What the heck? Okay, I'm gonna rewind that part. Let me see here. As he's showing up. What's up, Punksy? How you doing? Thanks for hopping in. Let me get to chat real quick.
Hi, Punksy.
Not. Let's see. I don't know how that combined live thing works. Oh, okay. The door was open. My bad.
Hey, we can roll, dude. There's people inside.
You said what?
I know. I don't do anything on this here. I know.
Sounds crappy.
Okay, so what Drew did was he grabbed a face mask apparatus,
Mm-hmm.
but that was it. Now, Drew is a volunteer firefighter in Camden, just one little town over from Flora and Delphi, still in Carroll County.
Say that again one more time.
So Drew Yoder, he's not only a deputy sheriff, but he's also a volunteer firefighter for Camden, which is, Camden, Flora, Delphi. It's all Carroll County.
Okay.
But yeah, he just grabbed a face mask basically so that he wouldn't get the inhalation from the smoke.
Is that common for that area for you to be a volunteer somewhere else?
Oh yeah.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
oh, yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
If you get into it, you'll see how many crazy overlaps you get. It's wild.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. So he just the LE just grabbed a breathing apparatus and that was it.
Correct. He didn't grab the full suit and get up. He just grabbed the face and oxygen mask, basically.
Okay. And then the volunteer firefighter.
He's still in the firehouse.
Okay.
The only one that's still out the house right now is Dysinger, who is a Flora cop.
Okay. He's another LE. And okay, was he at the scene first?
Yes.
Okay, and then this guy that we're watching the dash cam, he showed up.
Right.
That's when they were breaking out windows. He's like, all right, I'm going to go down to the fire station real quick. I assume maybe because it was taking fire station so long to get there. Is that why?
I believe that Drew went to go get the fire station because they weren't responding fast enough. Yes. Okay. Now, also keep in mind that prior to the 911 call being made, the girl who made the 911 call actually called the homeowner that Galen was renting from first. His name is Josh Ayers, and Josh Ayers is also there with Dysinger and Yoder.
Really? Is he helping or
helping throw rocks at the windows? Probably.
Okay. Does he have any connection to this?
He is the owner of that home.
I mean, I'm like, as in the person that wouldn't mind if the home did that.
There's a lot of suspicion about Ayers because of the situation. I'll let you finish this video and then I'll get into Josh Ayers for you.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, it's a hot one.
It's a hot one.
Oh man. It is, darling. It is.
All right, we'll get back to this. Thank you for hopping up here. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, thank you for having me. I'm sorry y'all have to deal with this accent.
Oh no, it's funny. It's cool. Thank you.
My car's out here. We need to roll those. Cool.
Okay, wait. Can you rewind it for like 5 seconds? Just like 5 seconds. Keep going, just a little bit. Right. Okay, go ahead and just play it from here. Now, look, if you guys look to the left of the screen, once he leaves, you'll actually see that there's a cop car just sitting parked. We don't know why. Okay, look, right before he makes this right to you, right there. This has been a big question mark for a lot of people. Why? What's up with this? Like, why? I've asked this a billion times. I haven't gotten any answers on it. What's the deal with this cop car?
Yeah, you can tell right there. It's got the emblem on the side.
Yeah. Oh, you'll see it in a second because he's going to turn right.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, he's going to turn right. Bam!
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Why wouldn't they be down there?
Yeah.
Here, let me throw Punksy's link up there real quick. She's got a dot after the end. Here, let me throw her link up there. I guess I'll have to resub too, because good live tonight. I didn't even know she was going live tonight. Okay, so there's the cop car. Now I got to pay attention to when he gets back to the scene. Okay. And then there's one driving away from it.
Yeah. Yep. That's weird, isn't it? I'm glad you saw that too.
Hey, they're coming. They're right here, dude. They're right here. They're coming. They have an airplane.
Who's this guy just walking around casually?
Wow.
I'm just walking by this house fire. Don't mind me.
Who is that? Is that somebody that's just a neighbor or something?
I believe that is Josh Ayer's cousin who actually lived in the house that's kind of like behind this house that's on fire.
Oh, okay. SRB. So these people are basically just sitting around on their asses while this fire is going on? What the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, car driving away, one parked. I figured if it's a small community, they'd have all resources on hand, you know.
You ain't kidding, darling. One would think.
Huh. So this guy's just walking by. Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
Breaking out more windows.
Oh my gosh.
You're getting ready to go back in the house. I think we just, it's hard to see the front porch.
Right. Oh, the screaming.
I know it's Galen. It's horrible.
Okay, I see the fire getting bigger on the right side. The right side, it's starting to get bigger.
Now get this, the back door was wide open too for some reason. There he goes.
Okay, I seen somebody go through the front.
Yep, that was Gary.
Is the door on the left the front?
Yep.
Okay.
And now you got a firefighter. What is he doing? He's just hanging out on the porch, taking in the view.
Wow. Now what is he doing? He turns around and walks away. Somebody help.
Now this is when Drew gets hurt. Do you see that kind of? No, there's the tree there, and then that window that's kind of like dead center almost.
Yeah.
You can start to see the flames in there. You kind of saw it start to flicker. Again, that firefighter is just hanging out on the front porch. You heard Drew. Now something happened, and he got some really bad burns. Don't know exactly what happened on his way up the stairs to get the girls, but something happened. And he incurred a lot of fire damage to himself personally.
Where was the fire located? Do you know?
It started in the kitchen, we believe, which was kind of in the back of the house where you to the right, you know, that far right where you start to see it. And then it just kind of moved forward to the front of the house. Now, like I said, keep in mind, this back door is wide the hell open. They've already been breaking out the goddamn windows at this point. Okay. Drew had tried to go in, couldn't, went into the firefighter station, you know, got them, come back. You know, they were basically right behind him. He went in first. Now, like I said, at this point, he's gotten hurt and just, you can hit play.
So the mom woke up from everybody breaking the windows. When
No. Actually, what is known is Galen had fallen asleep, you know, downstairs in the living room, which is located kind of at the front of the house. The girls were upstairs. Now, like I said, this house was one house, but it was broken up into multi-dwelling, you know, but there was one bedroom that the girls were in was upstairs. You know what I'm saying? So they still had 2 stories to where Galen was at, but there was other people who lived upstairs that only had access to the top level. Now, Galen woke up because she heard a noise in the kitchen. She thought it was the girls coming down, you know, one of the girls in the kitchen getting something. And then the next thing you know, she realizes that there was a fire, you know, and that there was a lot of, you know, it was crazy. She knows that somebody was in that house and it wasn't her girls in that kitchen. I'll tell you that much right now.
And that's why you think the back door was left wide open.
Absolutely, I do.
I got you. Okay, we'll get back to this. And that firefighter is yet to still walk back in, by the way.
Just strolling, hanging, you know. Awful.
Sorry, everybody.
I know, I'm sorry. It's really hard to watch. Like, this next part is the worst.
Okay. If you need to back away, just give us about 15 minutes or so. And then check back in. Totally understood.
Yeah, this is, like I said, this is where it starts to get hard, you guys. I'm so sorry.
Totally understood.
Now, this firefighter just got down on his knees. See him getting down? He's going to poke his head in that front door, Lou. Oh, look, he poked in. And he pokes back right away. And he's just standing there again. I just don't understand it.
And this is already at 8:41, and that firefighter is still yet to walk in. So we're over 3 minutes. We're at 3 minutes and 15 seconds still. And the fire on the right side of the house, you saw the flames coming through that window. Now you can see the whole illumination from the fire. So I assume that whole back kitchen is pretty much lit up right now. Okay.
Yep.
There's firefighter.
Now, that's the alarm to let them know that they're out of oxygen or getting ready to run out of oxygen. Just walking around again, another.
Wow. Some guy at least was running, but
Right.
this guy, he's just walking again.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yeah.
Man. I don't know. It's just crazy. Firefighter still has not gone in yet. We're at almost 4 minutes now. Hey, ATS, thanks for hopping in. 4 minutes. He already poked his head in.
I believe this is where they pull out Drew.
So now another firefighter shows up.
Right.
So why is nobody trying to hose the back of the house?
And nobody's even gotten the hose out at this point or got it pressurized, ready to go. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, this guy's standing on the porch for 4 minutes, and then Buddy shows up, and nobody is like,
Right. You're scratching your head and sick to your stomach all at the same time, right?
Right. Like, I'm so confused right now as to, like, well, that's what you sign up for when you take on that responsibility. So I don't understand. I'm just confused. I don't. Why the porch? And I don't know. It's like the other side of the. Yeah, I'm just confused. It is a tough video to watch in all seriousness. Where these, I don't know. It's all volunteer.
It is volunteer. I will say that. Now, that's not to say that some of them haven't served on other fire departments that are fully certified. There is training and certificates that they have to go through to get, verified and qualified to do this job. So they have the training. Some of them. Now, I'll give you this. There is some that are only strictly for driving, like they can't do anything else. There are people who are trained to run the hose and all that as well. There's different qualifications and there's different levels that you can do as a volunteer. So the two guys on the porch are obviously good to go on the hose, but they just don't seem to have their shit together to get it done.
Like Kevin Kraft says, looks like there's horrible training to me, he probably meant. Good night, Dre. Thanks for hopping in here tonight. I appreciate it. Even volunteers have to train. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. This is crazy.
Yes.
I'll turn it down a little bit.
Okay, that's where they got Drew out. That weird looking light was his light from his face stuff,
Okay, and that's the Ellie's body cam or dash cam
that was the deputy. Watching. Yeah, the deputy.
Okay.
This is his dash cam. Here, more wind is breaking out. Look at that.
But you could hear, it's starting in the middle now. So you could hear his voice on the dash cam.
Whenever he had that, we don't know if it was some kind of explosion or something happened, and he did retain, I believe, some pretty severe 2nd and 3rd degree burns. He had to be life flighted out, and so did Galen.
Wow. So when you do hear him coughing in this video, he's actually inside the property.
No. Whenever he first got back, he was coughing because he had already tried to get the girls. And I don't know if you guys know anything about smoke inhalation. It's a serious thing. Most people actually die in house fires from smoke inhalation before they even actually have any burning done to their bodies. You know what I'm saying? And you don't exactly know how old this house is, what kind of material it was made out of. Come to find out, some of the material that's in this house, it's old. Don't get me wrong, but it's toxic when it catches fire and releases those chemicals, you know.
Especially them old homes, they have a lot of the pre-code.
Exactly.
You know, your plasters and all sorts of stuff that they used. It has asbestos mixed in with it. And,
yes. Now, and see, another thing that I learned from a firefighter is watch the smoke. The black smoke is the burning smoke. The white smoke is, you know, from it being put out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, see? I learned some things on this, Arlen.
Okay. And so now it's
all
totally
black
lit up in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Hit now the middle is starting to light up.
Yeah, just wait.
Whoa, look at that kitchen. Yeah, I'm just surprised nobody's spraying a hose.
Yeah, they're still hanging out on the front porch. See all that smoke billowing out?
Right. Oh, look at the middle now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, it's spreading real quick. That must be where furniture. Holy crap! Whoa! Whoa!
Yeah.
Furniture. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Okay, and now watch how fast they get it taken care of, though.
Oh my gosh. Oh wow.
Yep. See the white
smoke? Smoke, yeah.
Yep.
Thank you for that knowledge.
You're welcome, sir.
Oh,
I have two uncles that are firefighters, and I showed them this video, and they were just like, why are they not in jail?
Right. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and pause that. The rest of the video, I don't get in. There's even more after that. But I can go ahead and pause it right there. I do want to share this link again on Coach Kev's channel where they go into the deep dive of that body cam. I'm definitely going to check that out myself in my own free time as well. And maybe the next time we do a show on it here, it ain't going to be long for sure. I definitely want to read through these documents as well. Because I think there's going to be some things that just ain't going to make a lot of sense.
If you ever want to do one where we do, you know, without any audio in the background and we get the whole tape, I could get the tape. I don't know if Meow did it with the counter on it, so you know where the times, because I have things out in the times that I can go by and say, you know, 9:23 this happened, Yoder comes out here, and we could, you know, kind of really get in depth with it. But as you see in Jinx, whether it was her uncles or whether it was me, she's 100% right. White smoke is good. And if you saw, and we'll be able to really focus in on that, when they break that window out and that fire within 2.5 seconds comes up, and that's, to me, that's considered full rollover. It's not a flashover. If it was a flashover, everything in the house would have instantly reached its ignition point at the same time, and just including the people inside. So that fire came like a blowtorch across the ceiling, and that's what was licking over their heads. And you should never have broke that window there. You take the hose in, you put the fire out, but for some reason, if you're going to take that window, you have that hose ready. I mean, you're almost flowing water before you break the window, because you know that that's coming at you, and that's going to bring it from the back of the house to the front of the house. You're supposed to attack from the unburnt side and get in as far as you can and push the fire out through the kitchen instead of letting it get in the dining room. Draw your line in the dining room. You ain't coming past here and getting in the living room. We're going to force you out the back of the house. But
that's like Firefighter 101, ain't it?
But I mean, it's a small department. There were some questions. So here's how volunteers are notified. And almost everyone, the same way we are now too. We get a text message on our phone that we have a call. Back then in 2017, whether they had this or not, they have what's called minuters. They're like pagers. And if you ever see their big black things will be on your hip, and it'll make a noise like doo-doo-doo-doo-doo, and then it'll give you the call. Hey, at 215 3rd Street, there's a smell of smoke. Stations, blah, 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 due to respond. And your pager, you could have it open to hear all the calls, or you could close it and it would only activate when your station's activated. So these people, sometimes they have gear in their car, but in the middle of the night, they're home sleeping. They have to drive from home, probably to the fire station, get the truck, and then go. Some people might go right to the scene, but someone's got to get the truck. I would think in a small town, everyone's going to the station, get on the truck.
Right.
So even though the distance from the fire station to the house is 30 seconds, they still have to come in. So there isn't anyone calling them. They're going to get that page instantly, and then they're going to show up. But they have to get up in the middle of the night, get to the station, get to the truck, and go there. So that, I hope that explains for people how that works.
Yeah, because that's what I was kind of like, wow, it takes that long. But you bring up a good point when it comes to that, because I'm not familiar with the volunteer programs. I don't know how it works. So it definitely makes sense that, I would imagine some of them probably have their own gear at home and a vehicle that is meant for response. But that's probably what your higher hierarchy positions that would maybe have that, or is that just like a funding kind of thing where
it could be anybody? I mean, you could just they'll pay for your gear, your station, you could keep it wherever. But we found out is our gear holds carcinogens in. So your gear should be stored separately. You shouldn't put it in your car. You shouldn't have it in your house. You should never wash your gear in your laundry at your home or in a public laundromat. You should have a specific gear washer, because we know that our gear protects us, but unfortunately it's been giving us cancer for about 40 years too. We're very specific. There's signs in our station. You can't have your gear back where the bunk room or the beds are. You got to leave your stuff, because guys used to wear their turnout gear and put them next to their bed at night, get out of bed and just jump in your gear, pull your suspenders up, and you're on the truck. Well, now you might have to walk in your bare socks into the bay floor, but who cares? You know what I mean? All that stuff stays out there now. So I don't know how many people carry that around anymore, because it's a health risk. And it's a health risk to your family too, believe it or not.
Wow. Wow, that's interesting. I never even knew that.
But I have to cut out. I have my family to pick up from the airport. It's my last day of dog sitting, but I would love to come back on anytime for Flora. If you want to go over just do the dash cam. I mean, we could get really into that and explain things, and I could tell you to listen for things. Like I could hear like the brake on a truck, I could hear the pump engage and say, here it is, comes, and we could show you. You could even time it. They break the window, I think it's like 2.5 seconds from the time they break the window. The stairs are on fire. They're from no fire to being that quick. And there were some theories that there was other accelerants going on, but the worst accelerant for firemen is a windy day. It's because eventually the gasoline is going to go out. The natural gas, they're going to stop it somewhere down the line and cap it. But how do you stop the atmosphere from existing or the wind? That's horrible for firemen. We hate those days. We just it's balls.
If you can get that, that would be sweet, and I would love to do that. Where we even have a show going into for real. And thank you for your time and everything that you do for the true crime community too. Thank you, Kathy, for your time as well and joining the show. And I would love to do one quicker than later.
Sure, let me know. I work Tuesday and Saturday this week, and I'm not dog sitting anymore. And I raised 2 kids. I was a single dad, but having 2 different puppies, maybe it's my age, I don't know. It was rough this week, my friend. A lot of frozen dinners. You say that.
Them bones get cold.
Oh my! Yeah. I appreciate you doing this. You always are there whenever we come, and get a hold of Jinx or through Discord for me. And I'd love to anytime you want to do anything, Flora. You can use any of my stuff, man. You're my guy. Anything you ever want to use on anything, you're welcome to use it.
I appreciate you, and thank you so much. And I'm definitely I want to do a show where we go through these documents. I think it's a great idea to go through the body cam with you, and then everybody can listen to not only the expertise and the experience that comes along with, and thank you for your sacrifice too, for doing everything that you do for the communities out in the real world, not just on the digital, so.
The job's done more for me than I've done for the community. I do a lot. We do the Coach Freak. We do all kind of stuff. And I have it on my channel and that. But you don't get too many thank yous, but the one thank you get, it carries you for a couple years. The hug you get, it carries you for 3 or 4 years till you get the next one. So the guys I met, there's a quote. I'll leave you with this because I really got to go. It's from an old, what was his name? Oh, he said, and that's the way it is. Paul Harvey. He did Fire.
Yeah, Paul Harvey.
And they talk about putting the fire out. It almost makes me emotional to say it. They talk about putting the fire out, saving the city block, and everyone's at the station. You're all tired. It's 3 a.m. You're all dirty. You're looking at each other like, man, you're an ugly guy. You're an ugly guy. No one outside your world could ever know this feeling. And that feeling is the highest of the highs. And sitting dirty in the kitchen, making jokes about each other after you save someone's house or someone's cat or someone's family. It's something else. That's all I could say. But I just want to leave you with that. And I thank you. And your chat's awesome. You always have a great community. And let's get something going. Quick, I'm in. I know Kathy's in. Kathy's great. Meow's great. Jinx is awesome. Yeah. I'm sure I'm leaving people out, but I really appreciate you having me. And I'm going to tap one out and turn it over to you, my friend. So
thank you, and be safe and enjoy the time with your loved ones as well. Thank you. Appreciate you.
All right. Let's talk to you later, brother.
Yeah. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. And I want to thank all of you guys for joining and hanging out. This case doesn't get too much airplay. I don't know. There's not much about it. So it's one of those things where, please like, share, spread this information. We're definitely going to have more shows coming up too, where we kind of, the sleuthing that we do over here, we're going to incorporate that into these documents and this body cam stuff. So I want to say thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for spending the evening with us. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Coach Kev. Thank you, Jinx. Thank you, Meow Zedong. Thank you, everybody that contributed to this show tonight. And please, peaceful, positive evening. Don't forget, tomorrow there's already a notification. If you are a member, we'll be doing our weekly OJ25 members only episode tomorrow at noon Central, 1 Eastern. So come hang out for that. And tomorrow night, thinking we're going to do games, but we might do some Idaho stuff too. It's been a few days since we've covered that as well. So I don't know. We'll see how the night goes tomorrow. Definitely OJ25 members only episode 2 tomorrow. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you. And please tell all the people that are close to you that you love them tonight, because we're never promised tomorrow. I appreciate you guys and thank you. We'll see you tomorrow.